Go. Hey, welcome.
Yeah.
Second time's the try, guys. We're getting better than before. 40-ounce cheese reels. We're trying not to go and mess up the microphones. We're getting our audio quality better, aka me. Cheddar, how you feeling? How you doing today?
No, I'm feeling pretty good, man. Pretty decent. Got off work early. I'm out
Hey.
here. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm dead.
You don't sound like you're feeling great.
Oh no. Working with kids, man. Whatever they got, you get. They will sneeze
Yeah.
on your face. They'll give you a big old hug, and then they'll just go achoo, and you go, oh, that any of those diseases are now mine. And I don't know what I got. I have checked COVID, flu. I haven't checked the flu, but I would have. I should have a flu, like a fever if I have the flu. But I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've literally taken some days off just because of the fact that I'm still feeling sick and coughing up and anything else. But yeah, no. But before I fully got into sickness, I was able to go and see the Fantastic Four.
The movie
So
that brought us here today.
yeah, very
Fantastic Four.
interesting.
What's it called? First steps. Yeah.
It's kind of an
Fantastic Four
interesting
first.
thing. Yeah, like you had the first steps right before this was Superman. So all the DC fans, all the Marvel fans out here waiting, ready to go and hoist their movie up on the pillar and say "f you" to the other ones. Um, as usual, we're gonna try to be a little bit more classy. Pinkies out. We're gonna not swear as much, aka me. Cheddar does not swear. I swear all the time. Um,
I feel like it's only when you crash out is when you get to swearing. Which to be fair, I've only heard you do it one time, once twice, but that was mainly on the ARC. I don't
yeah,
think I've heard you crash out on here yet.
that's when I start going in Hulkifying, brother. Oh, rest in peace, Hulk.
Mm,
He's
I
going
don't
to
know
get a
about all
99 galaxy. But
that. like the internet has been saying, that man was a racist.
yeah, so here's the fun part, right? There's a lot of cats that I like. Booker T was like, you know what? I ain't gonna say nothing bad about Hulk Hogan. There's a lot of people who have. I'll say it like this:
I'm not gonna say anything good.
Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, the idea of the wrestler, right? And not like the
Hulk
backstage, right?
Hogan,
What?
Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the wrestler. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool people.
yeah.
Uh,
The person
behind the scenes,
behind him, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like Ultimate Warrior is cool entrance, cool like gimmick. But when you go into when that face paint wears off, ooh, ah, uh, racism,
right there.
racism with capital R. But yeah, let's go back. Speaking of racism, I was worried that Fantastic Four wouldn't have enough black people in this movie. it,
I mean,
it came in the
wasn't
'60s.
there only like one?
Well, no, so here's the thing, right? When I first started watching it, because it was the '60s, I didn't know if they were going to do like, hey, we're not comfortable around black people right now. You know, they didn't go into that at all, which was
No, no.
interesting because I
But I
was kind of
mean, to be fair, I think there was only like I can think of on top of my head. Oh no, there was a couple extras that were black, but there was
yeah
only one actual black actress that was like had a more prominent role. But I mean that's fine. That's
yeah
fine. It was
yeah. I mean that's the thing is that like it was interesting because I will say, and this is something that I will always talk about. And obviously, spoiler alerts, and I think you
yes.
will be able to agree with me on this. The majority of the time, movies with superheroes, especially like the Fantastic Four, they struggle to make the characters likable or to like make them heroes, right? And I say this
Yeah.
not in like maybe this is just like because I haven't seen the old films, the original ones as much with like Jessica Alba or that god awful one that isn't even like shown anymore. Um
You talking about like the old one?
no, the one with Michael B. Jordan when he was the Human Torch.
Oh yeah, no, that one. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I mean
That
the
one
old
that one was
animated
awesome.
series was kind of cool, but like the thing with the Fantastic Four that's always been tough is you have to keep like the wholesome, goofy '60s like Jetsons vibe, you know, or like how the Incredibles took the likable features of what the Fantastic Four is, which is like a family of superheroes that moonlight, like they both are people and they're like figures of like superhero figures,
Yeah.
kind of like Tony Stark. But I don't know how to put this. A lot of superhero films, their first film is kind of like, hey, this is who I am. This is how I got my powers, blah, 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 blah. You either go that route or you do the James Gunn thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is like, you don't know who they are. we're not going to explain it. They you're going to go
It's like
in,
let's move on this.
yeah, you're going to get them in current junction. You don't need to figure out who Drax, like, Drax was. Like, Drax is this guy, Groot is this person. And they did that with the Fantastic Four, and I'm really glad about that because I did not want to sit there and watch them deal with, like, I don't know how to use my stretchy powers. Oh my God, Sue, where did you go? Oh man, Grim, you're kind of crusty today. You need some lotion. Like, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the problem is, like, I thought about it. If you spend 15 to 20 minutes on each character dealing with their powers and how they adjust to regular life, you're getting 60 minutes out the way, like out the jump.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that this time, and it felt like the movie accepted a lot of things. You kind of acknowledge that, like, Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four in general are, like, have a monopoly of power in the world because they,
Mhm.
like, can, hey, the Fantastic Four said we have to work together. Let's work as a group. So it's like one of those things. Um,
I will say I'm torn. I'm torn on that because I went back and forth thinking about it after the movie, how I would have felt if they had done them getting used to their powers versus 4 years later. And I don't know. I think my issues with why I would have wanted them to do that. I mean, actually, no, I'll get into it. I'll get into it when we go into the fixes. 'Cause I think there's another fix that I think there's a fix they could have done that wouldn't have made me feel that way. But I went back and forth because I think I ended up leaning a little bit more to wanting something like that where they kind of go through their powers more. But there's a little fix that they I think they technically even had done but taken out. I'll get into it later. I'll get into
okay.
it later. But I went back and forth about that. But
No,
they did straight up skip 4 years and start into these guys are well established. They're the big dogs on the block. Like they've led to world peace. they've,
yeah.
they've done so much.
They're
Yeah, which is
they're
interesting.
the bad guys they fight are, like, not really the scariest per se, or at least they don't show them.
Well, from what we've seen, from what they showed us, who
Yeah.
knows? For 4 years, who knows what other kind of threats? But the ones that they threw in that montage were not the scariest, not the most intimidating
No.
threats. Which is
Those
which is into another issue I have with the movie. But anyway, I'll
It
get
was
into
also kind
that.
of interesting that this movie had very little, like, kills on screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there was
yeah.
a lot of people just going, like, just like head ripped off, kind of like what was it,
I mean,
Madness?
I'm not gonna get that much in most of these Marvel movies, or I guess superhero movies, unless you're talking about something like the Suicide Squad or something where
Multiverse
they're
of
intentionally
Madness.
going hardcore.
Multiverse of Madness. Wanda was giving people the business.
True, but that was also I feel like a big part of that was Sam Raimi. Where Sam Raimi
Yeah.
loves that body horror. Like like he had fun with that movie, I think, and did a lot of his stuff.
Mm.
Whereas even prior to that, I'd say there wasn't much that they've done in that realm of.
Spider-Man killed, oh no, the Vulture. The Vulture killed one of his people when, like, the Shocker. Remember though when the Shocker was like, "I'm going to keep these and I'm going to go and do some crime," and then the Vulture's like, "We're not going to do that. We're not using these weapons," and then showcasing that we own these, like, high-powered technology, like, weapons that we got from the aliens. We got to keep our shit. Like, we got to. Oh, speaking of swearing, sorry guys, dollar in the tip jar. But we have to keep that on the hush. And then he remember he, like, pulls out the laser gun and he, like, shoots him. He thought it was a stun gun, but it, like, atomized him and made him into
Uh,
dust.
yeah, but see, but that's what I say that's different than like cutting heads off or something like that, or like a little bit more.
I mean, Guardians of the
I don't know. Maybe
Galaxy, they were giving people the business.
I guess I have a higher threshold for what I consider like more of a gruesome death versus
I know you watch
just.
Batman give people the business in, Batman vs Superman. Batman was like, "I'm not saving anybody. I hope y'all can walk this off." Machine gun fired to the chest. But no, I haven't seen that movie, so I can't talk trash. Like, I've seen enough. I've seen
You haven't
clips
seen
of it.
BBF?
I was not interested. I there's certain, like, it's kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't see that, and I kind of like Andrew, what's his name?
Garfield,
Andrew Garfield. Yeah,
Andrew Garfield.
but, like, when they're
Yeah,
like Electro's the big guy, I'm like, I'm good. I just never liked Electro.
yeah. I actually watched a clip of it the other day, and I was like, this movie could have and should have been really dope. There's one scene where like he's saving a bunch of people from like some like electro kind of just like figuring out he's electrode or whatever, and like
Mm.
doing crazy stuff, and he's about to shock like New York Times. He's about to shock this whole thing. And then there's this dope scene where like Spider-Man has to jump back, and like the crowd's like in danger, and like one of his web shooters like breaks, so he has
Hmm.
to figure out how to like space it out. Like he presses down on it, so like the web shoot out in different ways. He's
Uh,
taking one and slinging one, and it was really. I'm like, yo, there's very little reasons why this movie shouldn't have been completely dope beginning to end. Like this a bunch little stuff like that. I was like, oh man, this movie should have been fire. What happened? But anyway,
well,
if we ever
it was
review
that
that,
high school scene where he like dunks a basketball from like the half court line, and everyone's
that
just
was
like,
the first one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
That
know what it
was
is?
yeah.
It's when people get a hold of the rights to a film, and they go, not only are we're gonna treat this like a high school musical, you know, where it's like we're just gonna let stuff happen because these are superheroes. Who cares? And then you go like, but
Arguably, I think it's when the studio heads get more involved in the films than they should, than letting
yeah,
the directors have their so. I think a lot of that ends up with studio meddling. I mean, that's what did a lot of issues with the DCE or whatever it was. There was a lot of studio meddling that I was like, bro. Anyway,
yeah. Anyways,
um,
back to Fantastic Four. Let's
Fantastic Four, but
Fantastic Four. Also,
which
shout out to
I
what was it, Herbie the robot? Actually enjoyable the whole time for me.
oh yeah, I was cool with Herbie. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
That was like a C3PO R2D2 kind of like feel where just like fun robot companion, competent. They established that Herbie actually does things and he's really helpful. Um, but he's not so helpful that he's like gonna, he's not like Superman robots. Well, actually, they got
helped him
Watch
with
too.
their.
The Superman
Yeah, I mean,
robots
he
are
helped him a lot with their day life.
hmm?
Yeah, yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah,
But, I mean, he helps him a lot. I mean, technically, what was his name? Herbie.
yeah.
Herbie. I mean, Herbie should have gotten washed by Galactus at one point, but
I thought
I
he
guess
did
he didn't.
when
No, well, they don't show you what really happens. They just show him later in the movie, and then you're like, oh, I guess he's fine.
yeah. Actually, question mark.
I guess nothing happened, even though we saw him pretty much get washed. I guess he's perfectly fine. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, interesting. Um, but no. So, what? I guess initial thoughts about this about Fantastic Four. Like, how'd you feel? What you thinking?
Um. So I kind of came into this very reticent because like Pedro Pascal has been in every movie ever.
That man
Um,
is working. I think he's
and
in 3 movies in theaters right now.
yeah, and it's kind of crazy because you kind of sit there going like I don't even know if he's going to be our Reed Richards continuing on because of how many
No, he
movies
is.
he does. No, no, I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
he's
like
100%.
what a little bit like, okay, but then like here's the thing. Everyone saw the spoilers from Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah.
So that ship's coming down to Earth, which means that something has to happen, probably like a doomsday thing, where like ending credits
You
for
see the post credits?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which
Where
I have some thoughts on that. That really.
okay,
Anyway, we'll get.
but yeah, so
Yeah.
like I like the whole, also they did the pregnant thing where like hey they got a baby. I was like I'm not sure if I'm ready for Fantastic Four like Franklin Richards. You know what I'm saying, like just like there's a lot of stuff that they were putting into this that I was scared
Mm,
about because let's be honest here, every time they batted with the Fantastic Four, it's been bad. So
yeah.
my level of belief was like right here, and anything they could have done would have already like put it here, or I would it just never would have gone. Like it basically had to beat a certain threshold for me to be comfortable with it. And I think
Yeah.
because they went 60s goofy, almost Richards inspired technology, meaning that they still kept high tech things, but it'd be based off of what Reed Richards decided to improve technology wise. So like flying cars, but keeping the cars looking like a 60s model. So like speeding up the technology of the era to a certain extent, but not changing the technological scheme so that everyone's rocking iPads and stuff. So you can kind of distinctly say like, oh, there you like let's go and turn on the radio and see and listen to let's go and record it on the little record box, you know. But then they're also like we're traveling to like multiple different planets. The worlds are united except Latveria. Shout out to okay. The problem is I know we're gonna talk about fixes, but I'm gonna put this in the pivot. Let's stop using Doctor Doom as the way to keep Marvel alive because they're doing this in Marvel Rivals
Oh, is
too.
Doom Liberia? I don't know. I don't know a lot about my expertise is more DC things, and like
Oh
my
really?
Marvel is hit or miss. So Liberia is supposed to be Doom's area.
Hold up. Let me go and show you. I'll be right back. I'll show you guys
Yeah,
in a second.
yeah. Where you get that? Oh wow, wow. but you need to do that to answer the question.
Yes, Doom is in Latveria. Now this is MF Doom's mask. I don't know if this is
Yeah,
going to come
yeah.
out. Can you hear me well? I don't know if this mask
No,
is. Okay,
no,
perfect.
okay, fine.
So I'm gonna leave this on for the rest of the day because now we're talking Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is cool. It's really weird to utilize him only because of the fact that you're either gonna get like because they didn't do the backstory on their characters, right? They just kind of go like, these four astronauts went into space and they're all friends and Reed Richards, blah 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 blah, right? So one thing that they did that was really cool in this movie that is they had to establish the Fantastic Four as actually being like cool, like actually like competent, you know? Because you either get the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four where they're all Jean Grace and they're all just struggling except the Thing. Because usually the Human Torch gets watched because he has the actual strength of like a regular person, but he
Hmm.
can like control fire. Is like some of
Hmm.
the depictions of him. So usually like he'll do something, then he'll just get swatted out the air and then be out of the game. Susan Storm has some of the most power because she does with like telekinesis and she has like really specific, like high level abilities that when she
Hmm.
can use them, but usually she's nerfed just inherently. Then you have Reed Richards, who technically should be like Monkey D. Luffy type like strength, where he can do a lot of stuff. But because Reed Richards isn't really a violent guy in general, he's more going to use his brain to do things. He offsets his
Yeah.
own. You know what I'm saying? The only person who
Yeah.
really fights and throws hands is the Thing, because he was a boxer from Yancey Street and blah blah blah. You know. So go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting
No,
you
no.
off.
I was gonna say there also should have been there should have been more stretching in this movie, but I
Stretching.
digress.
Oh, we saw some
We'll get
stretching with when Galactus got a hold of him. I was like, yo, what?
yeah that, but like. I really want to get into my issue with this movie, but go ahead. But no, so yeah, so initial thoughts in general. So that you had some reservations going into it.
Yeah.
You're worried about a lot of things. I mean, how did it turn out?
I mean, honestly, so one of the things I really liked is that it makes me see the Fantastic Four, the four people in general, as all competent. You know what I'm saying? Like each guy had a chance to do something. Reed probably
Yeah,
had the biggest glow down because Reed's supposed to be the smartest man on the planet, blah 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 blah. The Thing was doing good, but the problem is the Thing didn't really have a lot of like Thing-esque fights because it was like fight Galactus, brother. I can't do that. Fight the person that's flying on a surfboard. I'm the Thing. I can't. So all you could really do is like do it, like be like the center, the rock, as they would say, to keep everything glued together. But also show that the I didn't like how they did the Thing in general. I like who plays the Thing. I just don't like the fact that like they don't have the blind girl.
yeah. I mean,
The blind
yeah,
girl is like my favorite.
I don't know how much of this ended up on the cutting room floor because it
Mm,
looked like they kind of wanted to have at least some kind of pseudo love interest for him, but that didn't go anywhere, and
yeah,
it felt like it was very quick and abrupt, and like it felt like they kind of lightly touched on his insecurities with himself, which you didn't have to go full blown on it, but if you're also gonna have the love interest kind of thing in there, then you've got to address it, not just anyway. But I
yeah.
mean, yeah. But go ahead. What were you saying? You can finish up.
Oh yeah, but like so like the thing that like they show is like whenever they're doing the space travel, which I was shocked that they did so well on not only
Yeah.
like the space travel, the fact that all four members prove that they know what they're doing. Like they weren't like, oh, I've never seen a spaceship before. They're like, no, let's get in the spaceship. I'm gonna go. Hey
Uh,
Johnny, can you do this? I got this, dude. Hey
yeah,
Ben, can you do this? I got it. I can do this. Like, and you never
yeah.
questioned if they could. Even Susan, who, let's be honest here, whenever a
Who's a
woman on this,
woman? It shouldn't be in space. Is that what you're saying?
well, all that too, especially in the '60s. Come on, where's the kitchen at? Only Herbie was in the kitchen. That's crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, what were you saying?
Mask up.
Even feel what?
No, no, it was cool that like Susan Storm really shows that she's not to be messed with. And like the Fantastic Four, one of the things that is known is everybody else you can kind of talk trash to. Susan Storm is one of the people you don't, because she has on occasion used her powers for massive damage. She did like airbends, like like the airbending thing that like last Avatar, where she could just put a
Yeah,
bubble around you, and like she can put a bubble under, like between, like around your lungs or over your face, some. And you don't know that you're suffocating, but she could do that, and she has like threatened people with stuff like that, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Susan. My apologies," which is cool because like she's the only person that you really don't want to have beef with, and they make her look intelligent, smart, and like really comparable to the rest of the group, which is great because then you don't really see Susan as just a woman, but you see her as part of the four, which is sometimes in like the olden days when you would have a female part of the group, like I'm gonna pull an old one, a classic cartoon. Remember the Spider-Man? I think it was like Iceman and then like the Fire Girl, and they were all roommates in the same apartment.
Spider-Man has amazing friends or something like that.
Yes, it was old timey.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. I guess nostalgia would probably make people like it, but I mean, or whatever. Like it's just all I'll say without distracting from anything else. I enjoyed the fact that all the characters felt competent. I think there's a lot of things that they did that really forced their hand, kind of deal. You know, you might have seen that where like this movie really has to like establish the MCU again and kind of go like, hey, we're on a different planet in a different multiverse because like Reed Richards kind of talks about the multiverse thing. He's like, hey,
Mhm.
we're there's a chance, kids, that there's other multiverses, and the kids don't care. And they blow something up. And he's like, oh wait, but like there's a lot of it's just fun. Like the visual aspect of this movie was fantastic,
Mhm.
and I use
Yeah.
that as a joke and snuck that in there, Doctor Doom style.
I can barely take you serious with that mask on.
Yeah, man. One of the Doom bots, baby.
What is worth? Anytime you see me just randomly smiling or laughing, it's because you had that damn mask on. But anyway, um,
Get
no,
ready for
I mean
Doomsday.
my initial thoughts is maybe I don't know. I don't know how I felt before the movie going on. I was kind of like whatever. I don't care too much about fantastic. Like I said, I don't have too much background about it. I don't care too much about it going in. Although I was somewhat excited. Like it looked like it was going to be pretty good. And I thought it was good.
Yeah.
That's what I have to. That's what I have to
Did
deliver. I
you
have to
did you
deliberately say. I thought it was good. I think I'm more irritated with. Cause I'm a little irritated.
mm,
It's
mm,
more so with the fact that I think a lot of Marvel. I get irritated with Marvel MCU fans in general for them overhyping movies that I think are somewhere between mid and good,
mm,
and then people are like it was amazing. Which I have my MCU favorites. I love Civil War. I loved Infinity War. I didn't really care too much for Endgame, even though I understand why people loved Endgame. I loved Infinity War way more than Endgame. Like I have the movies that I like, but I feel like a lot of MC fans, I hear them like overglazing a lot of these movies, where I'm like, eh. And that's probably my issue with Fantastic Four. Where I thought Fantastic Four was good,
mm.
I didn't think it was fantastic. Like I didn't think it was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was way better than a lot of the movies they've been putting out lately. Like I thought it was way better than Captain America: Brave in the New World. I
Yeah.
almost said Brave in the Bold. I thought it was way better
It could have been Brave
than
and the Bold, to be honest with you. It was not a good movie. I felt so bad for them to be like, here's a new Captain America. We're
yeah.
going to give him one of the worst movies possible.
And it's like, cause in my just this little sour, because I think that, like a lot of what they want to talk about, they already did in the show. So it's like, what do we do anyway? And even then, it's because they already did in the show. They didn't want to talk about it in the actual movie. Where it's like, it could have been the movie where you establish Sam as a leader and have him do a little small Avengers team and have him try
Yeah.
to work out. That's what it could. That's what it should have been. He's taking on Red Hulk. Why is he? How can he take on Red Hulk by himself? You have She Hulk. You have Hulk. You have all these people in the background. You could have had him establish a little mini Avengers team and try to do something. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Um,
Thunderbolts gets all of your fan favorites all
I
rolled into
thought
one.
Thunderbolts was good. In
Yeah.
fact, I like Thunderbolts way more than I liked the not way. I like Thunderbolts. No, I'll say way more than I like Fantastic Four. But I do think Fantastic Four is better than Ant Man. The Quantum Realm it's been better than a
Yeah.
lot of these Marvels. It's been their
Can I put a
better
time out
movie.
there and just say that, and I'm not sure if this is one of the reasons. I think the Thunderbolts did two things really well. The theme was about like PTSD and depression, right?
Yeah.
And then the second thing they did is they have a whole bunch of action because the characters that they put on the screen are all militarily trained. So what you essentially have is like this high action, high stakes espionage, political upheaval kind of movie where no one trusts each other because everyone has been a villain and they all are depressed because of all the roles they've each taken to ruin their own lives. And then you have the Sentry come out of nowhere, which was a fantastic way of showing a character. You know what I'm saying? We're about to have a fantastic counter because there's gonna be a lot of fantastics in here. The Thunderbolts did a great job of that. And I was watching Thunderbolts and I'm thinking about Fantastic Four. I'm like, unless this movie is just a thing giving people the business, I don't know how fun it is to watch because the Fantastic Four are scientists first, people with superpowers second. And that's the thing
Yeah.
that's tough because a lot of the Fantastic Four shows are like, Reed, what do you think we're gonna do? What does the scanner say about your power level, right? And then like, Reed has to figure out how to solve a problem, like beating Magneto with a wooden gun, right? It's like, oh, wooden gun. Oh, how did you get me? Um, I can
I mean,
see,
'cause I think I mean, well, Thunderbolts did a really good job of
yeah,
balancing the jokes, balancing the emotional weight of like the themes that they're taking on without over marvelizing it and making like dumb jokes. Like it did a good job of balancing all of that stuff, having all these characters on screen, giving them accurate screen time. Everyone like I thought it did a decent job of all that, and I was having fun the entire movie. Uh, well, I mean, I can't say versus Fantastic Four because I thought
Fantastic
Fantastic, like I
Four
said, I thought
is.
Fantastic Four was good,
Can
and
I
then
say
I didn't
this?
necessarily need like jam packed action to action, whatever. Like I think they did a fine job like establishing. Uh, it's more so the way, like for example, talking about Reed Richards. I thought the whole thing with him being over analytical, I feel like they didn't push that until the second or third act, which is like this whole movie he felt like a little impersonal, which is he was supposed to, but like you don't realize that. I personally didn't realize that until like the second or third act where he has that argument with Sue, where then I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what you've been doing with this character the whole time. That hasn't really been evident until now. In my
Yeah.
opinion, where I'm like, okay, and I don't know much about the character, but based on the characterizations I've seen of him before, I wasn't necessarily expecting that, which I've heard. I mean, reading comments even before the movie came out, I've heard about him being more of like a dick, like a just because he's so into the
So
into
there's
analyzing
a.
things.
Do you know the maker? Do you know the maker? Reed Richards when Sue dies. No, I don't think it's Sue. Someone in Fantastic Four dies, and then Reed Richards goes evil and becomes the Maker, which is someone who
Mm,
uses his intellect for like evil and just starts like trying to destroy and like collapse all the realms and destroy everything. Unlike the Owlman for DC kind of thing, because you have
mm,
someone who's hyper intelligent who can make anything. Um, it's funny. All the Fantastic Four, I think, have an evil version of themselves, but all the rest like aren't evil. It's just one of them becomes evil because Susan Storm becomes evil as like Havoc or something, or whatever.
mm,
I mess up. I don't know enough about Fantastic Four to talk about this, but I do know that like each one has like a stint where they're just like, I am evil now, and I'm going to show you what cosmic power at that level is actually problematic. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, no, I kind of knew that like Reed was that way. But the problem is there's like 15 variations of the Fantastic Four, and
mm,
everyone's coming in from a different angle, which is really
yeah,
tough because every single version of the Fantastic Four outside of like the Earth's Mightiest Heroes has been terrible, in my opinion, because it doesn't like outside of like the comics, like people are gonna be like, oh, there's a comic run. It's kind of like Superman, right? Where like there's a comic run in Superman that is like a great capture of what Superman is, and it doesn't have
yeah,
anything. Because a lot of times that I think comics have a hard time with is that they have to like push a narrative to get everything into the same line. So some characters have to do things they would never do. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, why did
yeah,
this character just kill somebody? It's like, well, we can't have a we need a catalyst for all these characters to get mad at each other, so we have to have one character kill someone. It'd be like Spider-Man just killed someone. It's like, oh, why? Why did Spider-Man kill? Why did Spider-Man just get cut? But yeah, no, I can see you on that. Where like, yeah, like I kind of get you on like a lot of things that they established in this film were just kind of
yeah.
like turn your brain off. It was like turn your brain off. This is gonna happen.
But I mean, like I said, I would have been fine. Like I'm fine. I was fine. Like I understood this character a little bit more, and but like I said, that was by like the second or third act, like in the movie, like late in the movie. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what you try to do. This is the direction you're going with him. Okay, cool, I get it. But then, like I said earlier with Ben, like they kind of softly touched on, oh, he's insecure. Like if you're gonna do it, then go ahead and do it and have that theme be in the movie rather than like little lightly address it because we don't really want to go into that because we want to really focus on this whole Galactus plot thing. But like I don't know, and then even which I did appreciate like Johnny when he figured out like when he cracked the language code, right? And it's like
Yeah,
it's showing off that he's smart. That's one of the things I know in general. That's like he kind of has to try to prove himself and not that he's not a hothead, that he's not like a just focus on the ladies and stuff like that. But like even that theme wasn't really in the movie. So then when he's doing that thing where he's proving himself, it's because I already know that's like the role he kind of has. That you didn't earn that
Yeah.
payoff in the movie because like when is anybody down talk to him being like, oh calm down, Johnny, you know what you're talking about. That wasn't anywhere in the movie until all of a sudden he figures out, and she's like, oh let's go get Reed to figure it out. He's like, no, don't worry, I got it. And it's like, well, yeah, that moment would pay off more if you establish the fact that he's trying to prove himself as competent.
Yeah.
You there was like, in my opinion, this movie, none of the characters went through any arcs. Then
Yes.
there's no character development. There was no arcs that they had to go through, which isn't a problem. But like that's something like if there's no first movie where they're going through arcs, like this is the second movie. If they're going through if there's no arc in the second movie, that's fine because you've already established these characters. But like for the first, you need, I don't know. There's got to be some kind of arc that somebody's got to go through. Nobody had any arcs. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a little bit of Reed trying to like I said, everything was all these potential character arcs were half done. Like even
Yep.
Reed trying to figure out, trying to not be over analytical about things, and then he has the argument with Sue. But there is nowhere after that where he learns to not be over analytical. You know what I'm saying? There's no,
Yeah.
because his plan after the fact is still the same thing. Let's sacrifice. Let's use the baby as bait. There was like there's no.
He was getting he was getting
There's
he was
no
getting gaslit into being in trouble. Like she was like, Reed, I knew you were thinking that. He's like, yes, I thought about it, but I wasn't gonna do it. And
yeah.
she's like, you thought about it though. You're in trouble, my man. And it's like,
But there should be an afterwards where he's like, where that customer is like, you're right. I am looking at things too analytically. Let me take a step back and do things with a little bit more
oh, you want
emotion.
to
But
go
there
to
was
it?
none. There wasn't
We
that.
can just
There
jump in and
wasn't.
like we're gonna meld all this together because it's gonna turn into a fixes synopsis kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Because at this
here's a
point,
fix.
yeah.
Here's a
Because
fix.
I have a lot of. I have, that's why I want to say off the top. I enjoyed the movie. I thought
Yeah.
it was fine, somewhere between fine and good. I just
Like a
don't think
seven out
because
of
I
ten,
think
8 out of
about.
10.
I'd say something like 7.5, 7.5 or 8. I don't know.
I was
I'd
gonna give
give
it an
some.
A myself just because I enjoyed the aesthetic, like the aesthetic, the soundscape.
Yeah,
Like they're like when they were going out through the galaxies and they're like flying through and the
that
surfers
was
chasing
dope.
them.
That was dope.
That
And
was
so
cool.
Silver Surfer scenes, anytime the Silver Surfer was surfing something, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is fire.
Yeah.
This is fire.
Yeah, she did
Which I
a
need more.
yeah. Yeah, even Galactus wasn't as goofy as I
More of
thought
that.
he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I thought Galactus was fun. I thought that was decent. I have that's my I have so many issues with this movie.
Well,
I'm thinking
here's one
about
of the
it.
things that could have changed, right? When the whole Reed versus Susan thing, it would have been cool if Reed was talking to Ben or someone, or just like the other woman in general, and they were having the discussion about what we could possibly do and what the world could do to alleviate this problem. And then Reed's kind of like, well, I could use my child as bait to get Galactus into this thing. And then Susan goes like just pops out from invisibility and goes, what did you just say? You know what I'm saying? Like, because she doesn't trust Reed at this point because she might also have these thoughts and she, you know what I'm saying? Like there's this like level, like
I
they
mean, I'll
felt,
say there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the argument that they had, and like having that be a conflict.
yeah,
It's just there was no, like I said, there was no arc that he went through after the fact where he learned from that. Like there was nothing that
yeah.
he learned. There's nothing that anybody in this movie learned anything.
Except
There
that
was literally
Johnny is
no
actually
real.
more competent. Like everyone kind of just
But
realized,
like,
look, Johnny's kind of
when
competent.
did anybody ever say that he wasn't competent? That's my thing. Like,
Mm,
when was anybody ever challenging his competence?
you know what?
Never.
This movie is kind of very much like an establishment of they're proving to the audience more so than anybody else because
Like, and you got in terms of like a general audience, no one's gonna like a general audience that knows nothing about Fantastic Four. That you don't have seen the old movies. That they don't read the comics. They're trying to like the general audience is trying to go. They're trying to bring a rope into this movie. They're gonna look at that and be like, "Oh, cool." I mean,
yeah,
you told me from the beginning. Like Reed said, even in the narration at the beginning, Reed said, "I found four of the smartest people in the world, and they just happen to be my friends and family." So like, there's no point prior to that moment where anyone's ever, even if it was like. When he comes to Reed talking about like the suits and stuff, Reed doesn't really brush him off in a way that's like, Johnny, you're always talking about stupid shit. Get your mind focused or stupid stuff. Sorry, get
mhm,
your stupid stuff. You know, get your mind focused on real things. Like there's none of that.
yeah,
There's a little bit of jokes here and there about him focusing on like girls or whatever. But it's not like no one's ever challenging his competence. No one's ever challenging his intellect, and that moment doesn't really pay off because there hasn't been any challenges to it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
100%.
he's proving that he's smart, but like but prior to that, in this movie, when have you established that anyone ever questions it? If there had been like news reports, or they showed like some news reports being like, Johnny, he's always the jokester, and then he's like, man, and then they show him reacting to it, being like, oh, I'm tired of that, man. I wish people thought I was smart, rather than just being like, a hothead or so. If there was
Yeah,
something like that, then that moment pays off so much more as opposed to, yeah, some of you guys that know, you already know about it, so it's gonna pay off
Yeah.
for you, but not like general audience. It's like
Well, it's
if I
also the
hadn't
fact
known,
that like to
okay.
your point, and I'm sorry for cutting you off on this, but like
Mhm.
if we go by like a movie structure for all the listeners, a lot of times the movie structure goes from like the hero starts at this point, and then stakes ramp up and they build up and then they hit the climax, and then there's like a pivotal part and then it falls back down and then eventually tapers out or something. But in this one, it kind of goes like your heroes are starting here, and there's a little bit of a boost because they're like, we're about to go and show Galactus what's up because Silver Surfer talked all this trash. We're gonna go and kick her butt, and then they go so they like start from like here, they move up, and then they fall down, and they lose all popularity and trust within the world because they're like, oh, the
Yeah,
Fantastic Four can't deal with this. This is not as cool as we thought it was,
that's
and that's like the
just
biggest conflict, quote unquote.
yeah.
And
Is
I got
their fault not fair?
yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like they choose their kid over the world, and then they do the big speech where it's like this is about family and all of us working together. I'm like, that's cool and all, but you didn't choose your child over the world. But I would have liked for them to be like, hey, also just let everyone know, yes, we could have given up our son, but that also just still signifies that this guy who is stronger than everybody and can destroy planets still exists and still had
Mm.
eyes on our planet, which means that even if we give them the sun, there's no guarantee that they won't just blow up the planet anyways.
I mean, to be fair, that's supposed to be the alleged deal, right? It's like you give me the baby, I'll leave y'all alone.
Yeah, yeah, but like, let's be honest here. If someone wants to tell me, hey, the reason why I didn't do that is because I really don't trust someone that powerful, not just turning around after like a couple like 20 years and then destroying our planet anyways because the sun's now old enough. You know what I'm saying? Like the sun's done his job or whatever. So for me, I'm kind of like there's a level of like we could have seen them debate the issue or have more people debate it properly of like
Mm.
should we trust Galactus's word on this? Everyone's like, oh, Galactus said we're gonna be spared. Let's all bow down. And I was like, we're really out here trusting this man's word off the rip. Like he ain't gonna just destroy like the sun and then kill everybody. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he could literally just be like, oh, thank you for the sun. I'm not gonna destroy your world. I'm gonna destroy the sun. Everyone's gonna die. So I never disclaimed any of this. Also, was kind of hoping throughout the film that Doom would come on. They show Latveria. They
I,
tickled. Hmm?
yeah. I didn't expect Doom just because of how late that casting announcement was. It was like they just cooked that up in the pot, and it's like Fantastic Four. By that time they did that, Fantastic Four should have pretty much been done,
Mm,
um, except for maybe some reshoots here and there. But like to have Doom be in the movie wouldn't, timeline wise for me, it wouldn't have made much sense. So I wasn't expecting him. That being said, I do want to say real quick, I thought it was very stupid that they announced Doom
yeah,
as Robert Downey Jr. They should have never done that. Because imagine you get to that post credit scene. We didn't know it was Robert Downey Jr. You see the Doom holding the mask, hooded up, and all of a sudden he turns and it's Robert Downey Jr. He says, "Huh, interesting." Or whatever whatever line he said in the movie, he turns to the camera and says that. You see Robert Downey Jr.'s face. That would have blown the internet. Like that
yeah,
would have people would have lost their minds
yeah,
right there in the like Robert, what, huh, huh?
yeah,
Instead of the way people reacted, where as soon as everybody heard that Robert Downey Jr. has it, a lot of people were like, "Why? What are we doing here?" But imagine seeing that in theaters, having that moment pop out right then and there. It would have blown
yeah,
everybody's mind. Like, what the hell's going on? It would have started all this chatter fanfare. Eh, there's so much it would have done for
yeah,
them, but you know what it was because they were so because the only reason why they brought back the Russo brothers, the only reason why they brought back Robert Downey Jr. is because they were scared. It was very clear they were scared. They were losing out on fanfare. Marvels was garbage. Oh, I thought it was okay. Most people thought the Marvels was garbage. Most people thought most of the TV shows they've been doing up to that
yeah,
point have been garbage. So then they're like, they panicked. They brought back Robert Jr. They announced it to the crowd where if they had just saved that moment for that post credit scene, I'm
yeah,
telling you, bro, it would have ripped the internet in half.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but so that really pisses me because my thing about that post credit scene right then and there is like, what do we? First of all, I mean, we've already announced Robert Downey Jr. Why didn't you show his face? And even if you don't have to necessarily show his face, but like this whole post credit scene is nothing because of the fact that you already announced right. Like I saw that, I was like, oh, Doom, okay, cool. I don't really care.
Well, so
I don't.
the one thing that they started talking about
We
throughout
already
the
know the
film.
next Avengers movie is going to be Doomsday. We already know that's going to be the next
Yeah. So
Avengers movie.
so here's
It
the
was like,
actual thing though. There is a possibility, and there's gonna be some conspiratorial theories, right? Doctor Doom has been one to touch into the multiverse, right? And there are multiverses where Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom.
yeah, but they already said. Well, I mean, they could be lying, but the Russo brothers, I think, shortly after that announcement, if not the same time as that announcement, they already said it's not a Tony variant. This is Victor Von Doom, not like Tony becoming Doom or something like that. This is Victor Von Doom for the Fantastic Four, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
That's stupid.
Like, what are we
That
what are we
is
doing?
stupid.
That
I don't
It
like
could be a lie. They've lied many times before, so I mean,
unless his
I don't
voice
know.
is fantastic. But I'll be honest with you, you could
It's
have
literally
done,
just to bring back fans. It's literally people are like, oh, they loved Iron Man, they loved Tony Stark, they loved Robert Downey Jr. Let's bring Robert Downey Jr. back. And
dude.
it's like,
You could have literally, what was the dude, the guy who did Ultron, the voice who did Ultron. People just
oh
liked his
yeah,
voice
Robert
as
Downey Jr.
Ultron. The movie itself wasn't that good, but like the voice of Ultron was good, and people liked that. Because it had a little bit of that Tony Stark like edge to it, with a little bit of this. Like all they needed was just a guy in a Doom mask, and then they could have just
Yeah.
had could have been like a Darth Vader. It's like we don't take the mask off, especially if they're going like 4 years from like the incident. They could just leave Doctor Doom as Doctor Doom. And they also there's a possibility that in
That being
this
said,
movie,
they might be retconning that whole thing in general in terms of him because well, based on the clip that they did in the beginning of the movie, there was no mention of Doom. You know what I mean? It was just Reed, his three,
yeah,
and the three other people.
I
So
that's
like, I don't know if they're retconning that or not, but
I could I'm gonna say it like the way I saw Jim Krasinski be freaking Reed Richards.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a chance that like because they have like Doom 2099, they got Doom regular, they got White Doom that becomes a hero. There's a
there's
chance.
a chance. But like I said, that's not what they said. There's
And
a
you know what?
chance, but that's
And
not
you
what
know
they
what?
said.
Sometimes like when like a friend figures out the plot line to a movie you like, and you're trying to show it
Yeah.
to them first time, so it's good. Just gotta gaslight them, be like, no,
Yeah,
for
I
real,
mean,
this.
to be fair, they've done that. Like they lied about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire coming back for that next Spider-Man movie. They lied about
Yeah,
Hulk being like the actual Hulk being in the Infinity War. They showed in the trailer they had Hulk in the trailer for the Infinity War movie. He wasn't in that movie at all. They had
yeah,
the whole erectile dysfunction thing going on where he's too scared to come out.
yeah.
It's like, bro,
Ha 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 ha.
'cause
Nice. It's basically
that's
it.
my favorite movie. That's the
Get
one issue I
performance
have.
anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Should have been
but
taking
like,
that
but
Viagra.
other, but, but other than that, like,
That
so I
whole
mean, it's
Viagra.
very, it's,
That whole Viagra, baby. That damn Viagra.
but other than that, like,
Just have a
it's
scene of him just
I
like
don't know.
taking some gamma to the veins. Just Hulk being like, fucking, sorry, it'd just be Bruce Banner, just like a meth addict, like a spoon, some gamma radiation, lighting it up. It's terrible.
But
Oh
it's,
god.
it's possible. But anyway, just diving into this plot some more. Like it starts, so like it kind of been talking about it. Like it starts off with like a montage, which is an issue that I have. Starting the movie off with a montage of their feats because it's like some reporters doing like a news story on them
Yeah,
or whatever, and they kind of run through a couple of their feats. And like you said, none of these villains that they've showed are really like Mole Man. They show him fighting off some monkeys. They show him, saving the town from like regular degular like fires and random stuff like that.
yeah,
And it's like that's cool and all, but I would have appreciated more of an establishing fight. Like most movie, not most, I can say most movies, but like an establishing. Because the thing is, none of those villains are really that strong as you see, and even then, we don't really understand the scale of power with the Fantastic Four. In general, there's a little bit they do with Ben throughout, where he's like lifting cars and he's doing stuff like that, and you see a little bit. Even later on in the movie, you see a little bit more of his strength. Johnny, I mean, I don't have too much of a frame of how strong he is, how strong he isn't. Sue, they do a good job of showing her like take down Galactus close to the end, and like really kind of throw him around where you're showing how strong she is. But like, I don't know. I think without either like a prior establishing movie, so you get to see a little bit of their strength, or like without an initial like bad guy together that they had to like work because even that, how often do we really see them work together other than Johnny coming in and bringing the thing like say the line, say the line. Other than that, how much did we see them work together? Other than like in the ship, they did good teamwork. I'll admit that. But like
Yeah,
in terms of their powers, in terms of taking things down, we didn't see them really kind of collaborate on that, which would have been kind of cool because we haven't seen the Fantastic Four that much. Like Mr. Fantastic stretched barely
yeah.
at all in the movie. Which to your
He held
point,
her. He
he likes.
held. He like wasn't it? He held her. Susan down so that she could be stable during birth.
Oh yeah, because but the thing is, because they were talking about like before we come out, I saw some reports where they were like they were worried about his dimensions and like making it seem more realistic, so they didn't want to do too much of the stretching because they wanted it to make it look realistic. This is a comic book movie.
Yeah,
This is based on comic book stuff. Like we don't care. The first Fantastic Four movie, not first, but the older Fantastic Four movie,
yeah,
he did all kinds of crazy stretching stuff. Nobody cared. What if it
yeah.
looked weird because it wasn't Nobody.
Well,
It's
looking
Mr.
at
Fantastic.
the CGI
What are we
baby,
doing?
man, I don't know if I could trust their CGI
I
on
but
that. That CGI
that
baby was
really
bad.
people want to talk all that trash about the Flash movie and the babies in the air and all that stuff. What y'all and people love this baby? I'm like, how? The CGI it looked
Yeah,
terrible.
I've not heard anything about the baby thing. So
Nobody
the fact that
but the Flash movie, oh my god, the babies in the sky, they look so bad.
yeah,
This baby looked worse than at least as bad as that.
yeah,
At least
the
not worse.
baby,
And nobody
the first
that's what
birth, the
pisses me
one
off
that
about
what
MCU fans.
what?
That's what pisses me off about MCU fans. They're all glazing over this movie like it doesn't have a whole bunch of
Yeah.
trash garbage in it.
Well, also let's also be very mindful of the fact that a lot of people expected this to be a hot fire. Like just a
I
good
don't think
old
they did. No, I really don't think they did. I think a lot of people came in this movie expecting it to be really had their expectations high because the cast. I mean, a lot of people had issues with Reed Richards and him not having like just him having a beard, face hair, all that. I saw people wondering about what Pedro Pascal was going to do, but I think people came in this movie with high expectations. I really do. I don't think they came in. I know the past Fantastic movies have been garbage, but I think people had a lot of high hopes for this movie being like absolutely fantastic,
that's optimistic,
and
man.
they
I would
came
never.
I know, but like, granted the MCU, granted the amount of time that they took to kind of get to this point to have the, I think people came in with high expectations.
Mm,
I really do.
all right.
I think they left out feeling even more than satisfied. And I'm like, I thought this movie was good and fine, but I had a lot of issues.
Well, no,
The
actually,
baby being one.
yeah, the baby was not that good. No, the early when the baby was first
People
born.
clapped, bro. People, there was almost a standing ovation in my theater at the end of this movie, and I'm
Oh,
like, how?
when they
And
revived
why?
Susan.
I'm like, y'all
Okay.
didn't see that coming a mile away? What do we like? What is going on here?
Oh, when Franklin keeps Susan alive.
Yeah, there's claps in that. At the very end of the movie, there's a standing ovation. But when he brought her back, people were like, "Woo, yeah!" I'm like, the minute she died, it was so obvious. First of all, you talk about him having powers. Galactus is like, "Oh, this baby's gonna has lots of powers. There's deep powers in this baby." The minute she dies, obviously he's gonna be the thing that brings her
Wait,
back. He has
do you know
nothing to do with the
Franklin
rest of the entire
Richards?
movie, huh?
Do you know Franklin
I don't
Richards'
know. I'm thinking about
powers?
Franklin Richards, but I knew damn well the minute she died, he was gonna bring her back. They're not gonna kill off Sue Storm at the end of the first Fantastic Four movie, and it's just media literacy of people overglazing these Marvel movies. I'm telling you, man, it's frustrating. And
So
this
Franklin
movie
Richards is a
is
Omega level mutant, by the way.
wild. Yeah, that's cool.
He has
I'm
reality powers, so he can bend reality. I think he's also Legion, or that might be it might be Legion. It's one of the
that's cool. I
guys.
expected him to be powerful. The fact that the
Yeah,
Galactus pinned him out, this baby it has cosmic powers that y'all can't even imagine. I expected him to be powerful. I
awesome
expected
Gohan.
the minute she died, I knew y'all sat there and really thought they were gonna kill off Sue Storm. Sue Storm was just gonna be dead. Y'all thought that was gonna happen, and the baby wasn't gonna do
Well,
anything.
okay,
No,
okay,
no, no,
okay.
no, no, no,
Time
no,
out.
no,
It's
no,
actually very
no,
possible.
no,
It's very
no.
possible.
How?
You know why? Okay, so if Susan Storm dies, there's a chance that Reed Richards blames himself and then becomes the Maker, and then he goes
They're not
into an
gonna do it.
evil
Not for
version
their
of
first
Reed
movie.
Richards. What?
Not for their first movie. Not for their first movie.
Because then you can
No.
go into
Why?
the Fantastic Four running away from Reed Richards, going to an alternate reality because Reed has then destroyed everything.
Fantastic Two are gonna run away from Reed Richards. They're not
I
gonna do that for the
mean,
first movie.
and then you could go into
No.
Doomsday where Doom is working with
But then
Reed or
what's the
something.
point of Doomsday? Because Doom's working with Reed.
It may be possible, dude. At this point, they can do whatever they want. I mean, they got all
I don't
the.
know. Not for the very first Fantastic Four movie.
That's why
I didn't see that. I didn't see
I
that.
literally was like, oh, they about to
You
kill.
thought for me that she was gonna be dead? You really thought she was gonna be dead?
I thought that they were gonna. I was getting excited because I was like, they're about to go into a Maker storyline where Reed Richards chose.
Oh, Not for the first movie. To be fair, I thought Galactus was going to be the thing they were running away from to get to another
Yeah,
universe.
same.
That's why I went in the movie thinking that that was going to happen. Then I realized very quickly that that wasn't going to be the case. But then I'm like, so that's another thing that pissed me off about the post credits thing. Because then it's like, so now we got to, I don't know, man.
Also, the time
God.
changes during the movie was kind of wild because the baby was growing very fast, and I'm like, is that supposed to happen? Is this just a regular
To be
baby?
fair, I only know because my girlfriend's brother recently had a baby, and that baby's been growing pretty fast.
True. I mean, like one to two, but like for me, it's more of like this kid went from like fresh out the womb, and they were like, "Well, this is gonna buy us like a couple months." Like, say a couple months, right? And then
Yeah.
by the time they show the baby after like the worldwide panic, the baby's like full head of hair, like
No, no. To
competent.
be fair, that could be a couple months.
Ah, Jesus.
Having watched this baby in real life grow over the past like 3, 4 months, that baby is big, yo.
Okay.
I will say, if had I not seen that, I'd be right with you. But
Mm,
having seen it in real life, I'm like, yo, babies
all
can
right.
grow pretty fast, man.
Okay. I ain't mad at that. The so I
But
think like oh
go ahead.
okay no, no, you go go ahead. What you want to say?
I was just gonna dive back into the plot stuff, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think like overall like the plot being kind of I think it was average because of the fact that you go from like here's your heroes being awesome goes into like
Oh no,
so
wait. Okay, I got to dive in there real quick because my thing is because the thing I was going back to too is like not really understanding the full scope how powerful they are, so that like when you get to Galactus, like I didn't feel like I because I hadn't seen much of anything. I didn't feel like this Fantastic Four was that strong. So like when you get to Galactus, I'm like. Me knowing how strong Galactus is, I know that this should be damn near impossible, but like also it hurts. Like I don't know, man, because like and to be apparently, because I don't know if you heard, but the John Malkovich was supposed to have a lot of scenes as the Red Wizard or
Red
something like that.
Ghost.
Like the Red Ghost. No, Red Ghost
Is
is Thunderbolts, isn't it? You
I
could be
think it
right.
was I think it was Red Ghost
Okay, yeah, you could be
because he
right.
was
It
like the
was
Red
Red something.
Ghost with his monkey men or something.
Yeah. They mentioned in the movie. There was supposed to be a longer scene in the beginning with him, with them taking him down specifically, and like, but they cut all that out. And I'm like, had you had that in there, that gives you some more of them using their abilities because it's a superhero movie. We kind of want to see that more of them kind of showing you a scale of their power, so that we kind of have a reference to like how strong they are. We get to see them working together, all that stuff. But like because of that, like I don't. I had a poor sense of how strong Galactus is when he takes them down because we haven't seen them do much of anything at this point.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we had a montage of them. Because you barely see them do much in the montage. So like, I don't know, man. Because like, I think back of like Thanos, right? Thanos comes in order to show how powerful he is. What does he do? He beats the mess out of Hulk, who
And
we've known to
Thor.
this point to be the strongest person. Not well, not. Oh yeah.
He
Locks down
beats
Thor,
yeah
the mess out of the Hulk, and kills Loki. So
yeah.
instantly, the very opening scene of this movie, we know how strong this dude is. We know the dude's a problem. Galactus kind of scaring them away doesn't show me much because I haven't seen the Fantastic Four do anything at this point,
Well,
really,
it's
to
also the
know
fact
how
that
strong.
Silver Surfer doesn't fight during the
And
movie.
that's yeah, exactly. If you either keep in that red ghost stuff from the
Mm,
beginning that they apparently took out for I don't know what reason, or you have the Silver Surfer when she comes to planet Earth comes to their Earth and she's like, your planet's been marked. They try to take her down and she shuts them down instantly. That gives us a scale of like, oh, but I think part of the reason why they didn't want to do that is because if she shuts them down instantly, then it's like then I guess it's what can they possibly do to Galactus who's stronger than her, and then it's a little bit harder to believe that like at the end when they do kind of sort of defeat him, it's harder to believe that because we've seen there should be no way that they should be able to do that at all.
yeah.
So I think that's why I don't know why they didn't do
For
the
me, so the way that I took it is that the 4 year montage is basically these are the first superheroes in general, outside of like the Mole Man and some of these like weird creatures that exist. But you take basically Reed Richards being so intelligent that he was able to like unify the planet and then like increase the
I think it was
technology.
Sue. I think it was Sue that brokered world peace.
Sue brokered world peace. Mr. Fantastic's technology also helped out the world. So the Fantastic Four
Mm.
in general gets credited with all the, though it was definitely Susan Storm being a political, like showing how good she is at like being able to converse. You have Ben Grimm, who they show as like being like this like juggernaut strong guy who can like strong enough to lift the car pretty easily. You have Human Torch, But the problem is like the way that they're doing the powers is they're kind of going like these are strong people, stronger than we've ever seen. But they're kind of like because of what we've seen in Marvel, with like Thor being a god, Hulk being a
Yeah.
problem, Thanos being this, they don't have that. So they're going by like the Dragon Ball Z level of like ratio. Like your strongest character was like Goku before he found out he was a Saiyan, right? And then you got Raditz coming in. Raditz gives him the business, and then everyone goes like, "Oh my god, these guys are strong. How many more are there?" And then Raditz goes, "Dude, I'm a soldier compared to this other guy." Then you get to
Yeah.
Vegeta. Vegeta's like, "Not only
Yeah.
am I not that strong,
It would have been nice if they had done something like that with the Silver Surfer coming in at first and whooping their
yes,
tail. It would have been
yes,
nice.
I would have liked
I don't
that."
know why they did
I'm kind of fine with it though because it promotes this level of the Fantastic Four can go and stop this from happening. They're gonna go and talk to this.
that.
They're gonna go back to the planet. And so everyone leaves going like, "Yay, Fantastic Four always solves the problems.
Fair,
They've
fair,
united
fair,
because their accolades are amazing. It's just
fair.
they're not dealing with like gods." And then when Reed Richards goes, "This guy's older than time itself. It's gonna take me 10 years to just figure out what the heck he is."
Yeah,
Because
fair,
and it
fair.
was awesome because it's like Reed goes and says like, "I'm smart, but this guy's older than time itself. I've never even conceptualized a being existing like this."
True,
So
and it does somewhat pay off when they come back like with their tail between their legs, and they're like, and the crowd's like, "Yeah, you did it!" And they're like, "Bro, we didn't do anything, man.
yeah,
This is about." I did appreciate that scene. They're like, "Yo, this is some crazy stuff going on out there, man. We did nothing,
yeah.
and are we safe? No,
No, I don't know, man. This is
no,
different. This is a
I don't."
different level.
He said, "I don't know." Whatever he said. He's like, I can't answer or whatever. I don't know. Whatever he said, I was like, "Oh man, that
No,
was that was
he
a
said,
good,
he literally
good
said,
shit."
"I don't know." He was like, "I don't know," and everyone was like, "Reed doesn't know the answer." Ah!
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting for Doctor Doom to just be like, "Yes, yes, Reed, you're not that smart." Because one of the things that and like you ever watch the Our Mightiest Heroes, and this is kind of a depiction that Doctor Doom does not waste his time with galactic level threats that he assumes the heroes can take care of. But there was a time during the Skrull invasion where they go in and try to save who they think is Susan Storm, but it's actually a Skrull disguised as Susan
Mhm.
Storm, and he's like made a machine to go and figure out what is a Skrull and what isn't a Skrull. And
Didn't he
they're like,
sleep with Susan? Didn't he like do something where he slept? No, this is the Earth. I remember some in the comics where somebody slept with a scroll that was disguised as Sue Storm, and then Reed went crazy because he thought it was actually Sue.
"Yeah,
But anyway,
that's
that's,
hilarious."
that's
But I think yeah, so long story short, there's a part where they're like, they're like now dealing with the Skrull invasion, and then Doctor Doom like breaks into Tony's lab and like beats up like, and he's like trying to go and talk to Tony, and Tony's like starting to fight him, and then
mm,
Doom's just like, "Stop, let's not," because he already beat them up when they went to Latveria. Like they went to Latveria to steal back Susan Storm, and he like beats them all up, and then sits in his chair and goes, "What do you guys want? What are you doing here?" I'm like, "You have Susan." He's like, "Just take her and get out of here, whatever." And he's like, "You guys don't even see what's going on," and everyone's just like, fuck, like forget you, Doctor Doom." Then Doctor Doom comes back to Tony and goes, "Hey, this is how you figure out what the scrolls are. I had to go and make it again because you guys blew up my machine." And then Tony's like, "Are you gonna help us?" He's like, "No, that's what heroes are for. I'm gonna go run my country," which is beautiful. So I love Doctor Doom because he don't play. But I was expecting Doctor Doom to once he sees the Fantastic Four to mess up, he'd be like, "We got something in the works just in case we have a galactic level for it." But that didn't happen. Oh well, c'est la vie. But I did like the fact that they don't show you the powers. They show you what is amazing about people who have powers living in a world that doesn't have powers. And you also have people that are intelligent and highly, like they have all these resources. They have the resources of the world coming together as one and trusting the Fantastic Four. And then the Fantastic Four goes like, "We're gonna go out to space. Don't just trust us. We're all of the astronauts and scientists and your favorite male models." And you know what I'm saying? Like they like these like they're like celebrities because Johnny Storm's like a model for like an ad or whatever.
is he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
remember
I
the
forget.
ad? Like it's like has like a picture of him like getting his pants pulled down. He's like,
I might have missed that then.
oh, there's like a billboard of Johnny Storm, and they like have like a dog biting his pants as it pulls his like pants down. But it's one of
Yeah.
those things where they're supposed to be like these like super celebrities, and then you think that they're like this amazing group of people, and then you get to see Silver Surfer completely ignore them, and then Galactus
Yeah.
whoops them on their own planet, and then you get to as the viewer go like, oh, Fantastic Four is pretty good, but they're not like because you get to see them be confident enough to go to space, to have all these like cool technology to like light travel. FTL travel faster than light. But
Mm.
then when they're running away from Silver Surfer, that's a problem for them. When they fought
I did
Galactus,
appreciate that. I really needed more Silver Surfer in this movie, man, because that
yeah,
watching her surf through in space or whatever
yeah, that was
wherever
cool.
they're whole thing they're going through, watching her surf through that, watching her surf through flames. I think either earlier or later than that. I can't remember when it was. That was all those scenes with the Silver Surfer. I'm like, I need more of this,
Yeah,
so that like because that like that happens. They get there. She just disappeared. Like he does the thing where he uses his talk no jutsu to convince her to help out, which is cool. But I would have appreciated them all trying to stop her, and then he tries to reason with her. Like like
yeah,
I just
yeah. Because the only thing that
them.
really establishes it is when they're running away from her and they throw a couple hands, and she's strong enough to like knock out like Thing for a little bit,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
but like
Did, oh, yeah.
yeah, and I mean like there's some things where they do show like Johnny being able to
Wait,
like
did that happen? Did that happen? Oh, that's right. Because like the three of
when
them
they're
run
running
out there.
backwards, Johnny the like dying of lack of oxygen because he used his powers to
Oh, you talking when they're trying to escape from the ship?
yeah, and then
Yeah,
the thing's carrying him, and then like Silver Surfer like breaks through the wall and then slams into the thing, and he is like actually out because Silver Surfer is that powerful. That's kind of a
yeah. I
cool.
would appreciate another fight though when she's breaking through all those towers, and then like the three of
Mm,
them run out. Like Johnny's like, wait, I got something, and they're like, no, don't, we got to stop her now, Johnny. And they all run out there, and then they
yeah,
they they try to tangle with her again. And then Johnny comes out with the Talk No Jutsu. I think I would have appreciated that a little bit more,
yeah.
but
Instead,
I mean it's
he
fine.
did, I mean, I kind of like the Johnny like setting up his own trap and establishing
Oh
that
yeah, no, I thought it was cool.
like I think there's a lot of problems that exist in terms of they played it safe, obviously, right? I don't think some of the jokes hit as much as people
Oh
think they did.
man, the jokes hit my theater a lot of times, and especially early on, where I was like, I wish I'd written down what some of those jokes because they were making some jokes here and there, and I was like, that wasn't that funny, guys.
It's you know what it is? It's Friends funny. It's people who watch Friends and go like, "Oh my god, belly laugh," right? But then
No, I understand what you're saying, but Friends, I know how stupid Friends is, but they still get it. I'm embarrassed to say
no, no, no,
I get Billy Friends makes me belly laugh a lot of the times. I know how stupid it is, but that's fair.
no,
That's
no.
fair.
I'm not crapping on Friends, dude. I think that you
No.
laughing at Friends is
You
completely
should.
fair.
You should because it's garbage.
Well, it's like Joey's really funny, and there's some times where like Chandler has like really good
No.
lines.
We're gonna get called. We're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get
yeah.
called. That's fair. No, it's fair. There were a lot of dumb jokes that I feel like people were laughing, and to me personally, I was like, that wasn't that funny. But
Yeah.
I get it. Sometimes to each their own, because like same thing with
I'll say
Friends.
I was entertained throughout the entire movie. When the baby got on screen, I really enjoyed pregnant Susan Storm and them just going like, "We're gonna take Susan Storm out into space because we need her." And I'm like, "That's awesome,"
Did you?
but she is pregnant. And then Galactus
Did you
forcing
really?
her to give birth was kind of crazy. I was like, I forgot he could do that. And I think overall, like, it made me like Susan even more because she was just undaunted. She's like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant. I'll still go and give people the hands." I'm like, "Okay, Susan." It was
See, I'm
cool.
surprised. I'm surprised, man. Because based on how you felt about Lois Lane, I felt like Susan had less characterization than Lois
You know,
Lane. Low key.
in retrospect, I think I might have just had more beef with Lois because of the fact that like I would have rather got more Mister Terrific or anybody else
But I mean, because my thing
or Hawk
is
Girl.
In terms of Sue, I feel like her whole spiel in this movie was protective mother. I feel like that was her that was her
Mm,
character trait is
yeah,
protective mother. That's not a character trait. that's that's not a character trait. But that
I
was her
mean,
character. Name one thing she said in this movie that didn't have to do with her baby.
she didn't make world peace, and she wasn't pregnant during that time.
Please.
I mean,
After the flashbacks, after the montage, the 10-minute montage at the beginning of the movie, name one thing she said that had nothing to do with her baby.
well, that's not
Even
fair
even the
because she
speech.
was a mom as soon as the credits stopped from the flashback.
Can she not be more than a mother?
Hey, there was
Can
times
there
where
not be more to a person
she
than a
was the
mother?
big sister. She was like, "Hey guys," oh, that was montage too, technically.
That was her being right. And I will say, she killed it. I will say, like I did love I love the speech she gave.
Yeah,
I love the fact that she was very strong per se. I love that way she was the one that basically took down Galactus almost by herself. I
yeah,
loved all that. I'm just saying in general, even that was her taking down Galactus was powered by her being a protective mother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just wish there was. I wish there would have been more to. And people, I remember seeing some comments on like, yeah, she was like the pseudo. She was basically the leader of the group. I'm like, okay, name one interaction she had with Ben in this entire movie, other than Ben telling her that she's pregnant. Oh, you're pregnant, aren't you? Name one time she talked to Ben the entire movie after that. It isn't a
Yeah.
single time.
Well, no,
There
no,
was.
no, no. When the bed scene, the bed when she goes and comes in and she like uninvisibles and then
Oh, and she comes and says, "Hey guys, we're ready." And Ben's like,
yeah
"Oh man, I hate it when she does that." They're supposed to be a family. They're supposed to be a team. Name one interaction she had with Ben outside. There was two interactions the entire movie she had with her family member Ben.
yeah. Well, I mean, but like let's be
Come
honest
on.
here. They really did pair them to be like Reed and Ben, Reed and Sue, Johnny and Ben, Johnny and Reed, and Johnny and Sue barely talk too.
I needed that. Speaking of that, I needed more Johnny and Reed. I needed a lot more. It was what I got was good. I needed more.
Yeah,
People were like, "Oh,
yeah,
I got this whole family vibe from him." I barely got a family vibe from him because there's that I don't know, man.
yeah. It's like whenever I've ever spoken ill of you out loud and not to myself. I was like,
This
that's
was
funny, Johnny.
Ben and
Ben and Johnny
Johnny.
were funny.
I need more, way more of that. It was
Yeah,
good, solid. I needed way more. That's the thing where it's like if you have a first movie where they are sort of kind of establishing their powers, then you can get more of that. If you have some more
yeah.
fights in the more an actual fight in the beginning rather than a montage, you can build in more of their personality, more of their interactions through that. Like skipping throwing the montage in the beginning, I don't know. I feel like, in
I
my
think
personal opinion, I feel like it hurt more than it helped.
so.
And you're trying to establish the four
If we
years,
were
that's cool.
if we were to
Go
go
ahead.
and split all four of them, right, and grade each of them on their own individual arcs, right? Technically
What art?
speaking, no. That's exactly. Technically speaking, Johnny had the best arc because he was completely pushed to the side by most of the group because no one expected Johnny to be important.
When
And
did they push
then
him to the side, though? That's
when
my
Johnny
thing. When
was
did they push
trying
him
to
to
tell
the side?
Reed that he had an idea, Reed didn't
No, he
care.
wasn't. Uh, what?
Yeah. Hey, so you don't even remember it because you pushed him to the side too. And then Johnny was like, wait, I'm listening to the idea, like listening to the stuff. Because everyone was like, Johnny, whatever you're doing, drop it. We got to do this thing. And then Johnny's like, okay, but I got my own stuff I got to do because I think there's something going on. And no one's really
My thing
caring.
with that, that's more of him not telling them what's going. Like he wasn't. All he had to do is be
Yes.
like, he's the way. Like to be fair, they did to kind of do that. But like, remember with the minute he showed Sue, hey, listen to this tape, listen to this audio recording. Boom, see, there's a connection there. Literally, the minute he explains to people what he's doing, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea." Instead of me just being like, "Hey, I got an idea," I'm like, "No, don't worry about it, Johnny." He's like, he doesn't elaborate.
Yeah. But I mean, still, like, it's still a better character arc
Yeah,
than
yeah.
Susan didn't
I
really
give you
technically have a character arc except becoming pregnant, which is like all the pregnant ladies out there.
that.
Life's hard when
It's
you're
not.
doing it. It's not an easy thing. I don't blame any of it. But what I'm
Not doing
saying is
well. She was
that
very strong. She had no character arc.
yeah, she had like they had to go and kind of make something with her and Richards. Reed's character arc was kind of forced upon by basically an assumption that you would have known that Reed was an analytical guy, which as you said. But let's be honest here, unless you know the comics, there wasn't like a lot of ways to like have Reed just actively be like, I'm not about to be a good father. Because they kind of make the
There
jokes.
was insert more of that earlier in the movie. Like I don't know. I felt like it was half baked in there. Like you
And then
show
the
stuff.
thing
You
with
show
the
stuff where she's
yeah,
like, "Hey Reed, you need to build the baby's crib." And he's like, "Nah, I got the smartest thing to do it, man. Don't worry about it."
yeah.
I just feel like it was. I feel like it was. I feel like it was half baked in there as opposed to really kind of established. I don't know, man. I
You
don't
know
know.
what? It was
I,
subtly hinted at because a lot of the times that when Reed
yeah,
was asked to do something for the kid, he was more so making things to check to make sure that the kid doesn't become like a
I think a
power
lot of
problem.
times one time
You want to make sure that the kid was normal. But no, like with the crib, and to say he was making the thing that analyzed her stomach, and he did all this
just the
other
one time.
stuff. Yeah, but I mean, like, let's be honest. They got four people. They got 2 hours to get through it, and they got to bring Galactus on the screen by that time. They did like
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes of just a synopsis of what they've done throughout that
To
in
be
that four
fair,
years.
if I had watched the movie a second time, maybe I feel different. Maybe
Yeah.
I just didn't care to watch it the second time the way I cared to watch Superman the second time.
No, I feel that, and you know, what, I'll be honest. Like, Grim, I didn't like Ben's arc of him like being with this woman who sees him as a like. I do. this is me being like an old head. I like the
Go ahead.
fact that it's a blind woman falling in love with Ben because she loves the
Yeah,
person he is, and like in these like 4 year time skip, which is you know what they're going to do if the Fantastic Four have to like leave their world for some reason. because like maybe Doctor Doom teleports the baby out to another dimension, and they have to go and find a way to travel through the wormholes to get their son back, and that's how they make it back to this like timeline. That way, they whenever they're done being in that timeline, they can just pop their way back over to the regular worlds. They're gonna have to establish Ben in like a way in a world where they don't like no one just goes, "Oh, you're the thing, and you have this cosmic thing. We don't trust you," because everyone likes the thing in this current like state. Which good.
No, no, good. Keep going. Keep going.
No, so for me, it's like I didn't like the fact that because one of the things that the thing is great at is that he's someone who cares about the little people. His mind is more of like I came from the streets. I lived in like a poor house and a poor upbringing. I will get harassed by the gangs, even as a superhero. The gangs still come up to me and try to talk trash. But he's like this big rock guy who doesn't take any problems and goes in his incognito mode when he wants to be chill. The problem is they got a woman from like the Jewish community who can see him directly, knows who he is, and he has a crush on her, and they're not doing anything to establish one way or the other. And they didn't like the problem is they did they're setting the stones, the foundation for these characters having to have an arc, but they never established it in this movie. Which means that
I would say I would not have high expectations for them establishing any kind of arc like what you're saying, where like he goes to a world and people don't recognize him because like yeah, think about it. The next time we see these people is gonna be in Doomsday, which Avengers Doomsday has to do so much,
yeah,
and it's not gonna be a 5 hour movie. So it's like we're gonna have to, which I think they already said off screen. They've already got Sam establishing an Avengers crew. They're gonna do that off screen. Um, you got the new Avengers beef with the Avengers. That's gonna be done off screen most
yeah.
probably, or maybe like a little joke here and there at the beginning of Doomsday. You're gonna have to establish whatever happens in Doomsday convinces the Fantastic Four to go to this new universe. That's that's my beef with them putting. That's my beef with them not setting it up with the Galactus thing, because then it's right there. Now you got to waste like 30, 40 minutes of this next movie doing that,
Yeah,
and it's like, bro, that I don't know. I don't. That's why I don't know, man. I'm
you're a DC
irritated.
fan. It's okay. It's okay.
It's
You
like
got
if they I understand why they didn't keep the Kang plot, but like if they had been sticking with establishing all these little Kangs doing stuff, that like Galactus could have been. I don't know. This is not a great idea. But spitballing, they could have had something where Galactus was maybe teaming up with Kang to pick out Earth or something. They could have had what was the Thunderbolts?
no,
Maybe
no. They
no,
would have been
not Thunder.
teamed up. Kang would have also been part of like this variation of Kang would have been one of the heralds of Galactus.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's something that you could. I don't know. There could have been little things where you're establishing all these little Kangs in these universes that when we get to Kang War, Kang Dynasty, or whatever, there's not as much setup you've got to do for this villain because we've already seen him kind of being established in the background of all this stuff. So like,
Yeah.
Doomsday's gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting early on in this movie for it to maybe pay off in Secret Wars. I guess if that's what they're going for, is doing having Doomsday doing a lot of the groundwork and then have it pay off in Secret Wars.
You know what they
Then
did really well though?
I'm
You know,
tired.
here's
I'm
something
tired.
that they did really well. Um, they made it completely believable that there's a multiverse where it's just the Fantastic Four and nothing else is going on, and it's literally about that.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, I mean, I think that was fine
Which means that
establishing.
whenever an actor goes, I can't do this anymore, find someone else, they go, oh, hey, there's another world where it's just Spider Man and it's Miles Morales, though. Boom, put him in. You know what I'm saying? Like, put him in coach.
Yeah,
And it's kind of a cool way because if they establish the multiverse, then they can constantly have people just randomly jumping into different worlds. You create a time paradox. It'd be kind of cool.
I think that's what they should have been doing with the multiverse. If that's what they were going to do, like they've been teeter tottering, wasting around the multiverse stuff for like more or less cameo movies,
Yeah,
like
but to their defense, they
that,
had one of their
like
main
that first
guys.
Spider-Man movie, Deadpool, Wolverine. Those were literally just cameo movies, bro. Where it's like,
Yeah,
and I love those movies. I enjoyed watching, especially Spider-Man. I love the Spider-Man movie. But I try to watch it another time after that, and I'm like, there's not a lot here other than these cameos. Same thing with Deadpool, Wolverine. This
yeah.
is nothing here that's solid other than these cameos. It's just like
Well,
the
that fight
Leonardo
scene in the
DiCaprio movie, like,
car,
oh, he's that guy.
the fight scene in the car was good. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I mean, that was fine. But like, I'm thinking, in terms of like overall the plot in this movie, the
Oh
theme of this
yeah,
movie, like where we're like, is this like this movie should be established? It was some people like, oh, it was just a goodbye to the Fox universe and love letter to the Fox universe and all the movies from before. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but like we're treading water here. Like, like build towards something or get the fuck out.
no,
Like, why?
well,
Don't
let's
need
be
a love
honest.
letter
They
to this
have
movie
to.
that was gone years ago. If you're gonna use it, that's a waste of a multiverse movie. Like establish the multiverse, establish some actual like legit guidelines and rules that we're doing here that we're building towards. Because we should be building towards Doomsday and Secret Wars. That's what we should be building towards. Nothing we've done so far has built towards that at all, except for this Doom tease. That's it.
Well,
That's the closest we've got
Thunderbolts,
to establishing this.
Thunderbolts with the Fantastic Four thing, and then this Fantastic Four movie and Doctor Doom.
And, and so we're establishing this in these tiny post credit things.
Yeah,
It's like at the very least, looking back on the Infinity Saga, you're building blocks of like establishing these stones and what's going on here. These stones were the central pieces of these movies here and there, and
yeah.
then you're going. And then, so it's like you're actually building towards it. Which come to find out, because I've heard, I don't know if you've seen a lot of stuff with James Gunn talking about this stuff before. They were spitballing, literally just free falling, spitballing until they got to that Guardians of the Galaxy thing where they told him to sit down and make up the background for these Infinity Stones, bro, because we don't know what we're doing here. And he sat down in 3 minutes and came up with some lore, and then they went with that moving forward. But they were literally just free fall, which that's what I'm
Okay.
getting here. They're just free falling. There's literally
Yeah.
because it worked the first time magically. So now they're just sitting here doing whatever. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this love letter. Like, hey, let's do this movie that's not establishing it. Like what are we
Well, yeah, but
doing?
you know what it is? It's
What
literally
are we
it's the
doing?
second coming where like Marvel kind of did this thing where they overdid stuff. They did the movies were working and then they weren't really working as well, but they were getting a lot of pass because they started working, right? You know what I'm saying? Like because the Thor first movie was like whatever, it was good, but it wasn't really like the most amazing thing. Captain America, the first movie wasn't that good. Thor's second movie wasn't really that good. Iron Man was carrying the trilogy, and the Avenger movies themselves were doing good because of them bringing everybody together. Then Captain America: Winter Soldier came out, and we were like, "Oh, this is pretty good." And then you would have Thor 3, which was the James Gunn one. Then you had the Guardians of the Galaxy that was carrying a
No,
lot
no,
of
no.
the weight.
Thor three was Kiki. Tahiti
Yeah,
Wakiki, the islands
I think James Gunn was in
Wakiki.
it though, because to my knowledge, Taika
In the movie?
Waititi. No, I think James
Yeah.
Gunn was part of the overseeing of, or someone was overseeing the entire directorial.
Mikey's been overseeing everything from the beginning.
Oh, okay. But yeah, long story short though, like the fluctuations of the movies have always been kind of off and on.
Yeah.
And people just really were happy to see superhero movies compared to what they were before, which was like you get like a Spider-Man movie occasionally, but you get a lot of like trash as well. And now you have like this culmination of all these movies starting to like build to something. And then they were like, oh, let's do the series. And they had the Daredevil series, and you had the yeah, but like the Daredevil series was good at that point. Luke Cage season one was pretty good.
No, yeah, but that's. Uh, I mean, this is me nitpicking, but that wasn't because they had beef with the people that were doing the Netflix series that like so there wasn't really MCU stuff because there was little petty issues behind the scenes or whatever. But I kind of get what you're saying.
But
But
it's just
yeah,
that
go ahead.
because the Marvel brand had those as the part of their roster, and then the Spider-Man movie came out and that was really good. The people were like, "Oh, Marvel is hitting," and in the same token, you had the DC universe that was doing everything and nothing because it was pissing off their fans. It was making stuff that was like, all right, we'd actually need to get the director's cut of the director's cut in order to see the full thing and all the scopes. And then like everyone was just kind of like lost. And then like Marvel was on this like can't do no wrong. And then they compared it to the old Marvel stuff and then the DC stuff and all the Marvel people and a lot of the non like superhero people were like, I kind of like this one more because it's funny and goofy and it has like old 80s songs thanks to Guardians of the Galaxy. But then, right when it hit its echelon, people started ready to quit. And then you had like Quantum Mania and all these other movies. Like this, Ant Man was good, and the second one was okay. Third one was trash. And then you have like the villain, Kang, getting caught with like sexual allegations, which means you have to like put a whole stop to one of the most important plot lines of all time, right? Like that was supposed to go and
Yeah.
reset the whole boundaries. You kill off a lot of the main heroes because they were done with the franchise and they wanted to do their own thing. And then you have like the young guys kind of going like, I don't really want to bear the weight of all this responsibility. I'm kind of good too.
You say that. I don't think that was necessarily the case. I think they just didn't know what the hell they were doing. I
Oh yeah,
think they
that's
were
true.
literally because I don't think anybody would have been had any. I don't think any of the actors or anything like had any issues with
Yeah,
being like, hey, let's do this torch passing and stuff like there's just so many. They had so many pots in the fire because I think they're spreading
yeah.
themselves
The
too thin.
WandaVision, the Loki series. I mean, there was they did so much that people
Yeah, they're
got
doing a lot.
overly. They
Like
got yeah. They were just like, this is too much. I want one movie that I can focus on, get my little comic book, and then I don't want to get to the Netflix series, and I don't have to go from the Netflix series to the Disney series to
I don't have to watch 8 things just for this one movie to make sense. But it's
yeah.
like
Let me not watch
that
Secret
doesn't mean
Invasion
you
and Miss
can't be
Marvel.
building towards something, which they're not doing. Like it seems like like a lot of these movies they haven't really been building towards
No,
anything. Now we're starting to get that because I think the next like literally I could be wrong, but I think the next movie on the bill is Doomsday. I think. Um,
unless they go and put
I
Shang Chi or something. Um, but like the
No,
thing is,
That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. Like Shang-Chi was a good movie. We haven't seen him or done. He hasn't done anything since
yeah,
then.
which
Like
was bums me
what's
out.
going on? They had the whole Hawkeye show with him passing the torch on to I almost said Katniss Everdeen. Whatever her name was.
Haley Stanfield,
We haven't seen. It looked
Kate
like they're
Bishop,
setting up the Young Avengers, huh?
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop. Yeah, those are they're setting up the Young Avengers. They haven't done anything with that yet.
Yeah,
Um, like bro, the end credits of Multiverse of Madness. You had Homegirl, Charlize Theron come in and do stuff. We haven't seen heard anything about that yet.
yeah.
There's no Doctor Strange movie in the works. Like what are we doing here? I just want some direction. Which I think. Oh, let me see. Let me see what the next what the Marvel
I
movies
think the
are.
point of this movie
Is it finally
was
establishing kind of direction?
yeah, establish that like, hey, there's going to be people from another dimension that are about to come
Yeah.
in.
Doomsday's the next movie that comes out next December. That's the next movie lined
And you know
up.
what? Doomsday might be literally like a an either change from one universe to another, so they don't have to like keep touching the old universe that has all these plot lines and people that they have to pull from.
No, no. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, maybe. But then what's the point of bringing the Fantastic Four at the end of the Thunderbolts? What's the point of them coming to that universe?
Maybe they,
I mean, yeah, maybe the universe hopping, cool. They'll go from there. They get the team. They go to another universe. But like, they're still gonna take like, we still got Sam and his Avengers that they're gonna come pick up, plus the new Avengers they're gonna come pick up, plus I don't even know who
or
else
they just
they're
have
gonna
Franklin
include.
Richards in the space shuttle and he's just by himself, and you're like, where's everybody else? And it's just Doctor Doom and
Yeah,
Fantastic Four flight. Like,
all
but
I
the
know
thing is,
is
like, it establishes that there's something here. Like this is gonna be the new crux because we don't need Tony Stark. We have Reed Richards who's smart. Like
yeah,
you.
they've already. And plus, that's the thing they said too. They said Reed Richards is going to be the new lead of the Avengers when he comes in, which is like, okay, then that was, I guess that's why they didn't show Sam establishing a team. But like, then why, like,
No, I feel that, but like
why
it's
can't
just
Sam be the leader of the Avengers? Why can't he be the leader of the
well,
Avengers,
it's
bro?
kind of
Like,
like it's like this, right?
what are we?
If you watch the DC stuff back in the day when they were not like when they were making their own side movies after the Superman thing, and then Henry Cavill's like, I'm out. It's like, well, you lost Superman. What are we about to do? And then suddenly James Gunn comes in and goes like, I'm about to redo the whole thing, which means Blue Beetle's no longer existing, or
That's
maybe,
false.
or he does. Peacekeeper could have not existed, but now he does because the Suicide
No,
Squad's going to be
Blue Beetle does
Gunniverse.
exist.
What?
Blue Beetle does exist in that universe, though. Blue Beetle does exist. He said he's carrying Blue Beetle
Okay,
over.
so the Gunniverse, but then see what I'm saying? Like it's the same kind of problem. Is that when they change directions from the top,
But it's not the same problem
it's not. But
because
it's like it's
nothing
reestablishing.
what happened was there was a whole bunch of chaos going on with the DCU, so they hired James Gunn to come in to become the new overhead of
Yeah,
this. Start from the ground up and work things over. And it's not that like Henry Cavill left; it's because they had no plans of making another movie with him. Period. There was a
that's a shame.
whole backstory thing with The Rock trying to undercut and do a whole bunch of BS. That like I said, I think I even said it in the last one. Y'all look that up because I don't care enough to go into the facts and details of
Oh yeah,
that.
because the Black Adam movie came out and I forgot about that. I like the
Yeah,
Mister.
but
I like
like
the Marvel.
that
How it was
was
in
a
Mister Marvel.
giant universe because of studio meddling and all that kind of stuff. That
Yeah,
like there were so many issues that they shouldn't have had. So then like, literally they brought in James Gunn. They're like, yo, scrap everything. Like forget about all this DCEU stuff. You're coming in here to give us. We're starting from the ground up. Superman is the first new movie of what we're doing from this point moving forward,
yeah,
and bump all the rest except for what the little things he's bringing in, which he should have just done a clean start to begin with. But that's fine. He wanted to bring in his toys with him. That's cool.
yeah,
But like, because then you get a little bit confused when people are like, "Oh, is this part of the old stuff? What's going on?" But like everything from Superman moving forward is all brand new stuff.
yeah.
This is the DCU moving forward. Bump all that stuff from before. It's like but see, because you're doing a comparison of the two things, where the comparison you're trying to make is more so like the X-Men movies and the difference between the X-Men movies and then Iron Man 1, where it's like whatever you guys were doing before is irrelevant because we're starting something new from the ground up right here, right now. That's what the DCU's doing. It's like all the stuff from before, whatever, don't care. We're starting from square one with the Superman movie. The way that, like, the MCU started with square one from Iron Man movie, and all this stuff from then to now is all the same chunk. Like, yeah, we closed the chapter, but this new chapter is part of the same book.
Or the
See what
Venom
I'm saying?
movies where they constantly go like, "Hey man,
That's a whole
the,
Sony bullshit.
yeah,
That's a whole other
that's
Sony BS. Sony
okay,
tried their hardest.
no. The problem is they kept going into like, hey, if you watch after the credits and you have like Tom Hardy go and say like, oh no, that's symbiotes over here, and you go like, are they gonna finally bring Venom and Spider Man back in? And they're like, no,
I don't know 100%. This is my theory. I think Sony did and recorded that stuff before they talked to Feige and the people over at Disney and
uh,
MCU, and then they were like, they were begging to please let us get in here. And then the MCU Feige was like, nah, bro, y'all keep y'all trash over there, and because like that the whole Venom post credit scene, bring him in, it made no sense.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
they were gonna pivot and do a whole universe thing with themselves, and they were. I think the plan had been to bring back Andrew Garfield after he popped, after he had that big pop with the Spider-Man No Way Home. I think the plan, or yeah, No Way Home. I think the plan had been to bring in Andrew Garfield, and they were going to build a Sinister Six universe with all these individual movies, and then have him be the Spider-Man to take on their Sinister Six.
mm,
But for whatever reason, that plan came crashing down, and they just canceled everything. And Craven was the nail in the coffin. All that stuff is closed up, thrown in the
yeah,
in a trash
yeah.
heap somewhere down the
Shout out
block.
to Morbius for digging the graves so that Craven could go and hunt his way back into
It's
the.
Morbin time.
Oh yeah, rest in peace, man.
Yo,
They did a great job.
that's wild to me. They literally brought that movie back into theaters, thinking that the fans were crawling for it. When all the fans were doing were making fun of that movie, and they're like, "Yeah, fans love it so much, let's bring it back into theaters." And they brought it back, and it's still sold terribly. It's like, yo, Sony is the biggest joke I ever seen,
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, but you know what? It's like right as we were talking about it, we got the wave of filth has washed over MCU, and now Fantastic
I do think
Four.
we're on. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say that like Fantastic Four direction, cinematography, the fact that the way they played it was safe enough and more. It was responsible and irresponsible at the same time, right? Like you have a fast forward, you establish the heroes is like we're good, we can deal with some problems. Here's some like galactic level threats. We're smart enough to work together to try to deal with it, and we have the resources to fight this. But we're not doing a great job. Like we're good, but we're like this is an actual fight, which is cool. Makes the movie more watchable, and it shows the Fantastic Four not flubbing hard. Like they're not just getting people killed; they're just dealing with the problems efficiently. It's just they didn't do anything to make like the Fantastic Four was the group was the focus and not the individual members, which for a lot of people would probably be one way or the other. But I'll be quite honest, I think individually you couldn't have them run a movie by themselves outside of the thing. And if that was just him trying to like be like a
Yeah,
whole
but that's why you split all four of them and have
of
their
five.
like individual arcs.
I want a Franklin
And
movie
they're kind of like,
just as a baby, him going to kindergarten. Let me get a
listen. That's fair though, because I mean, like you said, they and that's the thing too that I think because all the Fantastic four movies before that, that's what they did. They had their individual plot lines or individual arcs that they covered thoroughly for those movies, and I feel like they thought that was a misstep. I think it could have been fine if done right, but like also because it's like when how James Gunn said we don't need to see another scene with Batman's parents getting killed in the pearls. We don't need to do that.
yeah,
It's the same way the MCU was like, we don't need another Ben Parker dying and doing the great power, great responsibility thing. We've seen it enough. We already understand that's part of their thing, so
yeah,
they skipped it. And I think it was fine, but I just think I don't know. I think you needed a little bit more characterization of these because that's the thing about the Fantastic Four is their big personalities. It's like that's one of the things people love about the Fantastic Four. Whereas like I personally felt like I didn't get necessarily enough of it.
yeah,
But I mean, like I said, ultimately I thought this movie was good. I know it might sound like I hate this movie, it's my like I try to say it right up top. My biggest beef is Marvel fans overglazing this movie like it wasn't just a good movie, as opposed to being like, this movie was amazing, it was fantastic, oh my god, this movie was good. In my opinion, it wasn't amazing. It could have been amazing. It could have been fantastic. But you know what? Real quick too, I got to talk about one issue, other issue that I had that was small that bothered the mess out of me because most of the time I don't hear a lot of the music in Marvel movies here and there, like because I feel like there's a video online, a YouTube video from like what is it? Every paintings, every scene's a painting, every frame's a painting,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
something like that, where they go into like the musicology. Well, anyway, they go into like music of Marvel movies and how there isn't really a very good like theme or like the scores are never really. They usually they copy stuff from other movies here and there, and then they
yep,
just have like a very generic stuff that's not memorable. I went in this movie thinking about that Fantastic Four theme a lot because I really liked it. Fantastic Four, like I love that, like I love to hear it in the
Fantastic
trailers.
Four.
They did so many renditions of that theme in this movie, it bothered the mess out of me.
Uh,
Every time I heard it, they did different versions of it. They did like I'm like, bro, come on. They played it so many. In my opinion, bro, I've never really heard music in movies, and then to hear it done so many times in this movie, I was like, okay, I'm good, bro. I that was a highlight. I was
I'll be
sitting to
honest,
that
I
song.
might have been sick and I just wasn't paying attention because I like
Oh
was completely uninterested in the music side of it. Because I was for me, it
yeah,
was more of just like, are the is are the interactions between the characters going to be enjoyable? You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a small nitpick, but it's just I've been playing. I've been every time I thought about the Fantastic Four, I heard that little tone thing in my
Yeah.
head every time I heard them before I saw the movie. So going into the movie, I think I was very cognizant of like hearing that. So then like when I heard all these different little versions of it and I heard it being done, I was like, okay, come on, guys, come on. Had you just done that theme here and there at key moments, I'd be okay with it. But like there was it really
Yeah.
irritated me. And I rarely go into movies thinking too much about the score and like the hearing the theme and whatever. But
Well,
like
unless you're
that
watching
got
Mr. Fantastic give somebody a whooping, and then you go, "What song was he listening to?" Because that was hitting. That was him when he was beating people up. The I'll agree with you on like in terms of like soundtrack. Don't really know if there's a song that really like made me think about like this movie differently. Uh, I think the soundscape was kind of cool just because like the space wise things.
Mm.
Like the space of it was really cool. The
Yeah,
way
I think the
they
space scenes were hands down their best scenes for
yeah,
sure.
100%. Like as soon as they went into space, the movie changed from like this goofy like 60s cartoon to like an actual MCU movie where it was like there's some problems, there's some things that we got to deal with. Oh, hey, we just went into a planet that's now exploding and now we're getting like grabbed into this like the movie started from there. Um
Yeah.
I think the whole like Galactus ship was cool. Uh I was really shocked. And I watched it every time I watched the film I would kind of think this freaking the Fantastic Four's technology held up, and I didn't think it was going to. You know what I'm saying? Like when you were like this is 60s technology, and then Reed would just be like, "No, this kind of works though," and I'm like, "Really? We're out in, like these spacesuits are really holding on for dear life." You know, like I was like pretty impressed. Like that movie, like my expectations of things to just be like it's not right. It's not like it's not the current time frame. We don't have the technology yet to deal with this. No, like that faster than light travel, where it's just like a random thing up there, and I was like, oh, it makes sense that we would think about that. Like, okay, I'm not mad at this. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I think overall this movie for me was like it was fantastic for me. Right, I'm gonna use that word, but I'm not gonna
You
overglaze it and say that it was
you're blazing, bro.
no, 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 no.
I'm
But
playing. I'm
like it's
playing. I'm
fantastic
playing.
in terms of giving me the pieces to work with. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I never thought I was gonna like the Fantastic Four, but to see all the characters feel like heroes and to feel competent, meaning that they're all intelligent and they're cohesive as a unit, meaning that when
Mm.
someone had to do something, they're like, "Oh, you're busy with this. Let me go take care of this." It wasn't like, "Oh, are you sure?"
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, especially yeah. Like I said,
Because
the space scenes were
The
some of the best
Thunderbolts that
things.
frustrated me was that there was a part where they're like, "You just need to say your words, just say your words, and then you guys won't keep fighting." And then, but like that was the gimmick and the joke is that they're all incompetent enough that they wouldn't be like, "Hey, I'm here to kill you, and you're here to kill this person, and they're here to kill me." It's kind of weird, right? Like, what we all
Yeah,
serve the same person, but like, and I like that it took a while before they all kind of got out of their own way and then realized. Whereas this movie, I like the fact that they're just like, this is 4 years of people working together. They're friends. They're intelligent, but also thing I liked about the fight scenes, none of them are really trained in combat. So you don't have like the like CQC fucking, like hit, jab, jab, headbutt, discombobulate. These are just people. Susan Storm's main ability is just push people over. Like, just I'm gonna knock you over with my invisible powers. Thing,
Yeah.
things whole thing was like I'm gonna run into stuff and it's gonna break and I'm gonna pick things up and move it. And also they did show a little bit of how strong Thing was because he was able to pull a boat out of the water when it was like
Yeah.
stinking. Um,
That's true. Yeah, they
and,
did do that. I forgot about that part.
and they did the Johnny Storm being able to suck up a whole like fire, and I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool because that's like a way for him to like deal with it. He doesn't have, he's not like too much fire. I gotta explode. Like, he was like, I'm good. I got the fire. See you later, guys. And that was cool. Like, I like that they showed the positives and the negatives. Um, and the way that they did the film was very grounded. I think overall, for me, it was fantastic. I can definitely see where the infuriation of them being like, the baby was fine. The random baby going like, ah, and then just landing on the kid, on the Susan, and just being like, da, da, da.
No,
And then,
no, I mean, the thing is, I wasn't mad at that. I thought it was fine too, because like, it was obvious that that was what was going to happen. That he was going to, in my opinion, it was obvious that he was going to bring her
not
back.
at the
I
CGI
was,
baby, like, this is how CGI it was.
oh god, yeah, that CGI was.
That was offsetting. I was like, y'all had really cool cars and robots and stuff, but like this baby, like, just leave him as like a toddler.
You know, I'm gonna think of it too. I forgot about this too because I couldn't tell if this was just because this is the first time I went to like a 3D showing. It was like a laser 3D thing
Mm,
where like allegedly like it's supposed to be a lot better and clearer. The colors are supposed to pop a lot more because a lot of times when you see a 3D movie like it's a lot darker and stuff like that.
yeah.
But anyway, in the beginning, which actually this I will say 3D was solid in terms of like staging and like seeing like the actual. It was one of the better 3Ds I've seen where it actually it does a good job
Oh,
of like giving that aspect of it.
was this
But
movie marketed as a
um,
3D, 4D movie? Because there was a lot of scenes where it did feel like it would have just been like a 3D thing.
I know. I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily marketed for the 3D of it. I know 4D for sure because 4D
Like
rarely get
the
they
3D,
don't
I think was
market it.
definitely when I saw the movie and I saw
Some people
like
try.
them like zoom in on Silver Surfer's boobs. I was like, that would be perfect for 3D.
Anyway,
Doom. That's Doomsday, baby.
what I was trying to say is there's a lot of CGI here and there in the beginning. And I was like, I can't tell if it's just the 3D because it's my first experience with this type of 3D, or if it's just the CGI looked rough. And there was a couple stuff. I wish I had marked down like specifically what it was. There was a couple things in the beginning. I was like, this doesn't look that great. And then fast forward to the baby, and I was like, this baby looks like garbage.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't use a real baby for some of this stuff. Like, I don't know, or at least a better looking CGI baby.
Yeah.
Like at the very least with the Flash stuff, his excuse was it was all intentional, and that was supposed to be how Barry saw stuff through his speed force vision type of deal. That's at least a choice where I'm like, what choice are we making here to have this baby look so terrible?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you on like there's definitely a level of like if people said like this movie was a 10 out of 10, I'd be like, are you sure? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where
A lot of 10 out of 10s.
that's like
I'm like, I
when
don't know.
people eat like a sandwich and it just has like ham and like mustard on it and like that's it. And like 10 out of 10, nothing can ever top this. Like, I think we could find a way. Like, I think there's ways to improve this movie. But and I think
Oh,
like a
for
lot of
sure.
our yeah, I think a lot of our fixes were like more
I think
interactions. They also didn't need to do a lot of scenes where they were just like the way that people you're telling me that they wouldn't have just called someone ahead of time and be like, hey, thing didn't go right. So don't have the press bother us when we get back from Earth.
well, to be fair, I don't know what kind of communication they'd have with the ground floor coming out of space and all that good stuff. I don't know. I
Cat.
don't know.
It's Reed Richards,
But I
man.
don't
He would
know.
have got like I have some bubble gum. I could turn into metallics. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no. Like, also, there was a whole plot point of just like the government stuff and like the people not being able to trust the Fantastic Four. It was cute, but it was also very unnecessary. Like to go and do it because like it was definitely more of a way to depict like a current issue because it's something like Marvel likes to do
Mm.
is like let's talk about an overarching issue in society, which I respect because like that's what X-Men was about, right? But
Yeah.
but they didn't really need to.
Like,
The whole thing was family. Like the whole thing was about family and dealing with like, can we raise a
Yeah.
child in this new world and whatnot, and making these decisions, and it's cool. But like, I don't know, like the whole other thing of it, just it felt like they would spent too much time on that, and they could have just put that time into something else that would have helped alleviate some of your
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah. No, I think so. I think it would help alleviate some of my problems. My biggest, number one, without a doubt, my biggest and absolute problem with this movie is getting to the end of this movie and getting a standing ovation in my theater. And I was like, a standing ovation? Maybe a couple claps here and there, cool. But like people are like, yeah, wow, that was. I'm like, bro, what? And
I
Superman didn't get a standing ovation. Then it's different audiences,
Yeah,
whatever. But I'm like, wow, that is wow. The way I felt coming out of Superman versus the way I felt coming out of Fantastic Four were vastly different, drastically
you know
different.
what it is though.
To see
It's
that thing get a standing ovation was surprising to me.
Well, don't forget, Marvel has been batting at like a low level, and like outside of Thunderbolts, which a lot of people didn't really watch like that, or maybe
Yeah,
people did watch it. I'm not even sure, like because that's where Marvel is right
no,
now,
no, it didn't. It didn't. It undersold what it should have.
which is unfortunate
Um,
because I think Brave New World was a
yeah,
piece of trash. As much as I like Sam Wilson and like a black man being on screen as Captain America, which could be great, the Lord knows they're trying hard not to. Um, but then it's like the Thunderbolts
yeah,
came out, like it was a great movie. Fantastic Four was a good movie. I would say fantastic movie because it was enjoyable. It did everything that you wanted it to do, and my expectations were so low that it made it better. Standing ovation now, I can do an ovation. I can clap, be like, "Go ahead, Doctor Doom" at the end. No, I'm happy with that. Unfortunately, I know who Doctor Doom is, so now like it's not as fun as I would have hoped. But
you
it's
know,
cool.
yeah. Uh, Another quick
The
thing I just thought
Superman
about
one, I
too.
wouldn't do a standing ovation either, though, because let's be
I would.
no, because I think the Superman movie's great. I think it's amazing, right? I think it's like you should go see it if you have not seen it.
For sure.
I think they should have done something with those lines. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know. I was just going to call back to the old stuff. No, I actually think that the whole movie was really good. It's more of I don't think like this is James Gunn magnum opus on Superman. I think this is the establishment. Like this is one where you could give a standing ovation to, but I want to save that for when Gunn finally gets the pieces he wants. When he gets to like,
Yeah.
I want Gunn
I
unleashed.
feel like this was a much better establishing movie than this was. Like I felt like that universe felt a lot more lived in and established than this.
Yes. This
And
one
to
is
your
literally
point,
just Fantastic Four and possibly Doom, and that's it.
yeah, but to your point, I think is like you said, is like this Fantastic Four is supposed to be the only people on that block in that universe or whatever. But like to one thing I do want to say too is I really enjoyed the Mole Man stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
To
he
be
was
honest, I
fun as
would have
hell.
liked Wow. Yeah, once he came on, once you skip past, because that's I think my biggest beef
That
is the
man had a
montage
joke.
didn't do enough.
Sorry, that man had a joke, and I actually still remember it, where he's like, welcome to the subterranea. Please wipe your shoes off so you don't track dirt down here." It's like, just kidding. This place is full of dirt. And I was
Yeah,
like, or something like that. I was like, this is funny. That's a funny joke. That's a good joke
yeah.
because
I thought it was great. And then when he came in and him and Reed started arguing or whatever, I thought that was hilarious. And then even after, like he's calling out to Johnny, he's like, "Hey Johnny, who picked out your outfit?" or whatever he said
no,
to him.
he said, Johnny, don't get at me because you're the one who picked out that outfit. I was like, God, that's cold. Like it's one of those things where it establishes a fun world. Low
That's what I'm
key,
saying. I want to see more. I want to see more of that world built out. Like if you don't have a montage, if you actually have them taking down a villain in the beginning, I think that kind of kills. That kind of brings you more into this universe rather than just having a little montage where you don't get too much characterization from anybody out of it.
you
Like,
know, would have been
I don't
really
know.
a fun idea. And this is gonna be a fix, and then I don't want to take up too much more of your talk because it is
Oh,
we
man.
we're about to compete with Superman on length. But I have no problem with. I love talking to you, especially
I
about
think we
comic
still
books.
got an hour. I think we still got an hour left in the chamber to compete with Superman.
That might actually be true.
Go
Um,
ahead.
I was hoping they would do like a Dragon Ball Z when like Planet Namek gets destroyed and they put all the people onto like another planet. I was hoping that they would just
Um,
multiverse transfer them. It's like we got to get out of here. Where's one place that Galactus can't follow us? Let's just take all of the people and put them in this other planet that's very similar to ours. And they find out they accidentally didn't try and like teleport. They were going through different dimensions. I would have been cool with that. I'd be like, oh,
it's like when Patrick was like, "Hey, how about we just take the town and push it off the cliff
let me put it
rather than
over
trying to
here.
transport the worm?"
I also do like that. That's actually what that like their decision. We're just gonna go to a different spot over here. That's gonna work kind of
I'm
the
sorry,
same.
guy. But to be fair, that was their plan until
Yeah,
Silver Surfer came and messed it up.
yeah.
That
That
was
was
their
actually a good like counter. I was like, oh, this is kind of smart. Silver Surfer just figured this out. It shows like it was. The villains were had high stakes. They didn't get to do much, and there wasn't like a lot of like the heroes were confident enough to like keep damage to a minimum, versus like a lot of the Fantastic Four normally do, which they're just always caught unawares of things. Like, oh, I didn't expect us to get our ass kicked. Whoops. Um,
Yeah.
but I think overall, definitely like it's nowhere near like the greatest movie of all time. There's a lot
Nope.
of stuff that I
People will swear. People will swear
yeah.
this movie. I watch. Go look at the reviews or look at the comments. Everyone's like, "This movie was so amazing. It's the best thing I ever
It's
seen
that
ever,
Fallout.
ever." Oh
It's the
my
Fallout
god!
problem. It's the Fallout problem where like people forget that they like 60s and like old timey stuff being in a modern
Yeah,
age. And they're just like, oh, that's kind of cool. They got records and cassette players and everyone's got a big old hat, see? Yeah, and they got their overalls on, see? Like it's just one of those things where it's like it's cute. Like the art direction was fantastic. The art direction was great. I liked
yeah.
the aesthetic,
Colors were really top.
the space direction, the going on the star and the black hole. All that stuff was cool. It reminded me of Superman. I don't know what it is about those like people being able to like colorize the space. And it's like weird because James Gunn is really good at that. Of like, let's go into like this random planet, and like the plants are blue and the water is green, and there's cubes that float in the water or whatever. You're like, this is cool. Like this is a really cool aesthetic and like art style. Acting, I think was fine. Sound, I like the sound effects. The actual music, I could tell you hide nor hair. Um, I
I hated
definitely
that much. Of that Fantastic Four theme. If you ever
yeah.
watch it again, just keep an ear out for that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I
I
feel
might
like it was all over that movie. But
I
I
could
almost went
use
to see it in 4D for a second. I thought about it, but then I was like, I don't really. And I saw some of the reviews about the 4D in it, and I was like, I'm glad because you can tell, like, other than the surfing scenes,
yeah.
would have been a whole lot. And I
You
was
don't
like,
get the
eh.
part where they get to do clobbering time and you're in the chair like. Also, I like how they did
That
clobbering time and then they've all got knocked out. And I'm just like, okay.
you know, I like how Johnny. I like how they focus on clobbering time, like as if Johnny also doesn't have like a catchphrase they could have incorporated in this movie. Like there was no flame on.
It wasn't a
Where was
flame
that?
on. They didn't even talk
No.
about that.
Where's that at? I want to hear that.
I wonder if they were
Say, hey, no,
scared.
I'm not gonna say it. You say flame on, then I'll say it. How about that?
What if they were like, I don't want to like go and bring in like any other like activists. You know what I'm saying? Like flame means this in certain communities. You know what I'm saying? Like just those big reaches where they're just like, no one has clobbering time as a TM yet. No one's like, hey, clobbering time is a euphemism for like sex. You know? You know?
What? What euphemism with flame on has to do?
I don't know. When you get a little spicy, when you get zesty, you know what I'm saying?
Justin, sometimes I wish
When
I
you're in
lived
a,
in your world.
when you're in a roast battle, sometimes you're in a roast battle, and you go flame on, and then you start roasting people.
Whatever planet you're on, planet 626, whatever. Universe 619. I
Invisible
want to be on it.
Woman's catchphrase is obviously it's invisible time, or go go gadget invisibility. Reed Richards is I'm going to expand. I'm going to stand back. I'm expanding. Okay, if you haven't played Marvel Rivals, Mr. Fantastic has a couple powers that are kind of
I
cool.
hate that game so much. I
Oh,
know
I love
everybody
it.
loves that game.
I love it.
Maybe it's just me getting too old. I can't figure out what the hell is going on in that game.
It's if you haven't played Overwatch or any of those type of like games like that,
It's
it's
hard
tough.
for me to figure out what the hell is going on in
There's
terms
a
of
lot.
damage counters and health. Next thing you know, the match is over, and I'm like, what did I do
Yeah.
except for die a bunch?
The answer is you didn't know you were there for the ride of
I tried to play with my nephew and like my younger cousin at one point, and I was like, you know what, young bloods, this for y'all. This
dude.
ain't for me.
I used to play but also like
Officially status.
Mr. Fantastic can do a move where it turns into a fridge. Like he just gets really big and he can like reflect all damage back at him. But people say it's like his fridge mode because he looks like a fridge. And I was waiting for Mr. Fantastic to do that. I was like, please, just become a
Okay.
fridge.
If you go in this movie expect Mr. Fantastic to do anything, you will be disappointed.
Yeah. The most stretching you'll get is when he like can't reach something, so he moves his arm a little bit farther to the right.
Does he even do that?
Yeah, remember when he was like doing the science thing? He's like, we gotta go here, and then
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
he
But
turned
even
it like
that was like the length of a normal person. That, he's let's say he's 5'10". His arm stretched to the length of somebody who was 6'3".
yeah, he turned
Like
no, he turned to Giannis.
that's
He turned to Giannis like He went from Reed to Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Um he went from LeBron James to Giannis. That's It's not that much of a difference.
Okay, it would
A
have been
little bit,
cool.
not much.
What if
When you talk,
here's how to improve the
but
movie. Take away Pedro Pascal. We don't need him as an actor. He's already in enough movies. He did a good
mm,
job, but it was cute. But I think we have a better Mr.
yeah, I
Fantastic.
mean, I think yeah.
You
Well, no,
ready?
I think they just need to do more. I think they need to not be scared to do more with him
No, no,
anyway.
no. Close your eyes.
Like,
Close your
if
eyes
you're
with me.
not going to
Close
do
your
more
eyes.
with him, yeah, huh?
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Just envision this, right? Susan comes into the room and she's like, "Hey, so I'm pregnant." Camera goes from her, starts playing the Fantastic theme song, da, 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 and then it goes to just a picture of the chest, right? Because he's actually Reed Richards a little bit taller than we thought he was. And it keeps panning up, 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 up. And it's Victor Wembanyama. It's 7'5", baby. And Victor Wembanyama there's Reed Richards, baby. That way he doesn't have to do any of the
Yeah.
stretching animations. He's already as stretched out as possible. It's
My
just,
thing
Victor, Galactus doesn't have to bend down to talk to him. He's just looking up at he's looking up at Victor. What's that, buddy?
please stop stretching, Victor. Please, please. But no, my thing is, if you're gonna have
Victor's just taller than the thing.
if you're gonna make it where like he doesn't do that much stretching because he's focusing on more of his intellect stuff, then put that in the movie. Like if you're scared to do too much stretching because you're scared of the CGI looking weird, put it in the movie where he's like, I don't need to stretch, yo. I got my brain. Like put that. Then there's an arc. Then there's a little bit of an arc
Yeah,
that you guys can work on. Maybe I don't know, man. I'm done with this movie. I'm good.
that sounds like a lot of hate coming from the Doctor Doom
like
fans.
I said,
Doom
like
in
I
the
said, I
this.
thought it was good. I know it may sound after watching this, it may sound like I thought it was garbage. That's not true. I just get really irritated with overglazing, and then I have to do the opposite of overglazing to balance things out.
Yeah,
That's
bring it
all I'm
back to a
I bring balance to the force. That's it. That's all.
respect that. And I mean, honestly, I think the one thing that has irked me, and I think this movie was pretty good, was the fact that they like the thing that Marvel is doing that is frustrating me is I'm a Doctor Doom fan, right? Doctor Doom fan for life. Like always loved Doctor Doom. Got the MF Doom mask. That's also the Gladiator mask, which is also used for everything else. Um, they keep tickling my balls with this Doctor Doom stuff. It's so frustrating. They've done this in like video games. Marvel Rivals was like, hey, here's the first season. It's about Doctor Doom trying to destroy all the planets. We're all going to work together to fight Doctor Doom. You know who has not been revealed yet after they've already ignored the Doctor Doom storyline? Doctor Doom. Because they're not going to release him
Yo,
until
Marvel
after.
Rivals.
Yeah, Marvel Rivals isn't going to release Doom until Doomsday comes out.
He's in
Because
the game though. I swear I played as him at one
no,
point.
no, they've shown pictures of him in the thing because it's the future Doom and like past Doom working together to destroy all the multiverses, but then they betray each other because they're both evil Dooms. Um, but
Oh
like
yeah,
this movie did the same thing where
I
it's like,
thought I played that.
yeah, but like this thing does like here's Latveria, where's Latveria at? And at the end they're like, oh, here's Doom talking to my kid Franklin Richards, and like Susan Starnes like actually like frustrated and scared and it's cool, but I'm like. I am hopeful that they're just gonna go right into this movie and do like Doctor Doom now is here, and then they like
What?
I kind of hope that the Marvel Doomsday movie is actually just a focus on Doctor Doom himself and what he does to create the events for the next Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that's probably is what is it. They're gonna use that movie's Doomsday is just gonna be a setup for Secret Wars. That's the
Okay.
only thing that makes sense at this point.
Yeah, because it'd be cool to have like Doctor Doom just walk around on screen for like half the time and just talk trash.
It'd be cool if they had set up stuff for Doomsday, and then you could do a lot in Doomsday rather than having to set everything up in Doomsday.
They already did all they can.
Like
They just brought in the Fantastic Four and was like Doctor Doom now exists. The laziest way possible.
maybe I might be thinking of Magneto. That might be what I'm thinking of
Magneto.
that I played with in Marvel Rivals.
You're thinking of
But
Magneto.
anyway, I'm sorry. I got sidetracked.
Very, very easy character to get mixed up with is, Magneto, the master of magnetism, and the guy who's also. I mean, like, it's like saying, like, you see
Yeah, man,
Juggernaut, and you're like, there's Doom. There's Doctor Doom right there.
I think this roster, and I'm like,
Hold up, your computer's crashing right now.
There's
Internet's
more stuff. Jugging out. Thing frozen.
yeah, your internet was crashing for a second.
Um,
It's probably because
oh boy.
you know what they
Yeah, I
say.
need new laptops. Is
It's
it
all
bad?
good. It's dying. It's probably because all those Marvel spoilers. As we see his screen slowly fade in and out, they're starting to come back to
Yeah,
normal.
it can handle Marvel.
Wait,
Can't handle this Marvels. Like all heads and whatnot that are in there. They can't handle in the laptop, bro. I hate dying.
did you
Huh?
pull up Marvel Rivals and
Hello?
then your whole computer was like
Hello?
exploding? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, essentially. I was trying to look at the roster and it was like this it can't load I can't load both these pages and have you on this video camera at the same time, bro. Just go ahead and one of these is gonna crash. I need a new laptop, bro.
Hey,
Like Black Friday can't get here fast enough.
hey, if Marvel wants us to do more videos and reviews, please give him a super powered laptop for my boy here. Please and thank you. Reach out to
Read Rich is special.
yeah, give us the Fantastic Four. We got 4 members of the channel, 4 laptops with the Fantastic Four logo. Make sure mine is Susan Storm because she is the coolest. Give
Really, that's the
Cheddar
reason why.
what?
It's not some other goonin reason. It's not some other goonin reason.
No. Straight up, I played Susan in Marvel Rivals. Her powers are cool, dude. No, straight up,
Okay, so
like
it's not some other reason.
nah. I mean, like, because the problem is
Okay.
like the thing is cool, but like he's inherently cool. Um, Johnny
Yeah,
Storm, I've never really been like fire guys are just kind of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they shoot fire.
true.
When he absorbed fire, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Like I'm used to him just shooting and flying. Um,
So does your storm make you flame on? Is that what it is?
yeah, it's too zesty. Too many rap battles.
Anyways, man, we gotta call it. We gotta call it. We gotta
Yeah, we
call
gotta
it.
call it. We're gonna. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and all of our tangents and all of our wildness. If you haven't seen the movie and you spoiled yourself on this video, you might as well go and check it out. It's worth a watch. It is entertaining. It's not too long
It's
either.
good. It's a good movie. I recommend everybody go out and see it, man. It is
Yeah.
a good movie. And
These
Marvel has been on a pretty good run. Like Thunderbolts was dope. This was dope. Despite
Brave
what it might sound like, I feel it
Brave
was
New
still
World
good.
was very brave to put that movie out in its condition because that was a new world for me to watch. That was
I really want to see what that John Malkovich scene, what his scenes were for this movie. I'm really curious what that looked like. Um,
yeah. Actually, I'd be interested to see the deleted scenes in general. Can't wait for them to turn around. That doing a turnaround. It's just Tony Stark. He's like, I am
they
the.
really should save that. They really, really should have saved that for this post credit
I
scene. But
hope
anyway,
they
man,
were
we gotta.
lying.
Huh?
I hope they were
No,
just lying.
bro, I'm telling you, they're trying to do whatever they can to win back fanfare at the time, which was a desperate, stupid move. It's just build better movies. Don't. I just. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like if they had never announced it and then they show you at the end of it. Because like, what are we doing with that post credit scene if you're not going?
Yeah. But anyways, guys, get ready for Doomsday. When that movie comes out, we will be the first to do it. Hopefully, our quality. Leave us comments about like how to improve the show. Do you want us to do
Yeah, man.
better backgrounds? Do you want me to actually put an effort on to more things? Because the answer is I should.
Do you want 40 to make his bed?
Yep. Tune in next time. Perhaps the bed will be made. Perhaps the door to my closet will be closed.
Doubt it.
Tune in and you'll find out. Hold up. I'm gonna put that in the credits. Hold on. Let me go and do the credit scene right quick. Be right back.
Oh God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, all y'all. I apologize.
The doors do close. That's the credits. Goodbye, guys. Bye bye.